Right.
This is an interesting piece. I'm not exactly sure what this does. It's shaped like it's a bearing ring.
But at least you can hear my microphone. It'll be fucking working in here. I need to go. Okay. You don't need nothing. Mm-hmm. Look at that XP. Bitch, I'll punch you in the fucking face. Smug ass bitch. The bitch is fighting. Kato, bitch. Yeah, look at you. Yeah. You know, Daddy had that 1-2 cuckoo, did you? but I ain't paid this bitch. I haven't. I'm gonna put 1,000 in there. Look. He's running out of room. I. That's insane. Man. Fucking do this so I can hear the game too. Alright. Let's see. Gotta change that back. Alright.
Some remnants of it.
Hello.
There wasn't even a
Yo.
place on the shaft anywhere for that Woodruff key to go. So, if you guys are familiar with these things, any of you guys in the comments think you might know, drop a comment down below. Let me know where that little gear is supposed to go, because I'm pretty perplexed about that part of this. While you're down there leaving your comment, do me a big favor. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the little thumbs up button there below the video. It really helps out the channel. It doesn't cost you guys but a second of your time. If you want to help support the channel in a little more direct way, head on over to dieselcreek.com. We've got the merch store over there. We've got hats, t-shirts, hoodies, zip-up hoodies by popular demand. We've got zip-up hoodies on the way. I've just tested out the latest of those, and I gave them the green light, so we're going to be having those in the store here real soon if they're not there already when you watch this. And we're coming into springtime. We've got some new t-shirts in the merch store. We have, by popular demand again, we have the 977 track loader t-shirt now available in adult sizes. Previously, you can only get that if you were one of the little guys, but now we can be big little guys too. So if you want one of those shirts, they're available now over at the store. That's dieselcreek.com. Link is always down in the description. But that's all I got for now. I'm gonna go eat some dinner. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you later.
Yeah, you should be able to hear it now, brother. I had it coming through my speaker, so I was watching these YouTube videos while I was playing. But yeah, we got a packager now, my guy. We're on to some things. Okay, should have my. See here, take these. I need to take these.
Right now, get a buy one get one pizza from Little Caesars.
Don't worry, we're about to give you something to do.
Basketball. And then more food to watch more basketball. Order now.
Got a botanist, my guy, to take care of the
I got parts in to fix
Auto La
this.
Chingada.
FridayParts.com.
Yeah.
They sent me all of the top rollers and the bottom rollers that I need to get this machine back in operation. Big thanks to FridayParts.com.
About to run out of room. This over here for now. Pick his shit up. Hey, fam. Alright. So we got the house now, Cannon. The apartment, obviously. Ain't even using this for nothing. I must have somebody up over here. So. But save it. And here, hold on, I'll take you to the new purchase if you ain't been here long enough for it. Ollie. Ollie. Oh, should have turned about there.
Now, of course, there's all different sizes of air compressors for different tasks. This little air compressor that I keep in my truck here is only rated at 4.8 CFM
I think this
and
is
90
it.
PSI. This guy right here is what I would call pretty much your standard run-of-the-mill shop-sized air compressor. This is a 5-horsepower unit rated at 15.8
The new
CFM
purchase, my
and
guy.
90 PSI. Some would even call this a large air
Yeah, it'll
compressor
close automatically
shop.
after a few
To me,
minutes.
this is about as small as you'd ever
But
really
yep,
want to
new
go.
purchase.
Once you get a whole lot bigger than those shop
Got them
compressors,
cooking.
it's a pretty big step
Oh,
up. This is
yeah.
probably the most common you
Go ahead
see
and put
as
some
a
of these in
diesel-powered,
there.
like a tow-behind compressor on a job site somewhere. This is 185
So
CFM.
get his little punk ass to
and
work.
I can't remember how many PSI it's rated at. Probably at 90 if I had to guess. So 185 CFM. I think we can all agree 185 is quite a jump from the 15.8.
Let's go ahead and prepay them. Yeah, crazy, ain't it? No, not as of yet. I mean, it could come with an update cannon, but so far I'm bad about leaving doors open anyways. My boy John I play with, he's always bitching at me.
Regular viewers of the channel will no doubt remember a few weeks ago I sandblasted the frame of my autocar truck that I'm restoring. I was skimming through the comments on that video and I saw one person commented that said, "That air compressor is too small for sandblasting." Now, I had no problems with the amount of air that I had supplied to me for that blasting procedure. In fact, I think I had quite plenty, more than enough even. But I'm not one to back down from a challenge. Behind me is a 750 CFM Ingersoll Rand air compressor
Oh,
powered
shit.
by a 6V53 Detroit diesel, making all the power
I need to go buy
and all the air. With
another.
this guy, I could probably run 4 or 5
How many can
sandblasters
I
at the
assign
same
to him?
time.
I may have to
A
buy
friend of the
another.
channel actually reached out a while ago and offered this thing to me, and at the time I thought I have zero need
So I
for
can
a
assign
750 CFM air compressor.
one more station to you.
But then somebody left that comment, and I don't remember who you are, but if you're watching this, I think I finally have a big enough air compressor. Anyway, I bought it for $700 because it's been sitting
I'll go to the
for
warehouse
quite a
real
number
quick.
of years. I believe they said at least 10, but probably
Oh, they'll come to the door and look and all that,
so
cannon,
today
but
we're gonna go through this thing and see if it's even able to work. I have no clue of any of the condition
forget
or
about that.
anything. I got there and we just loaded it on the trailer. I never even really looked at it. I didn't pull any dipstick fluids, nothing. It was $700. Put it on the trailer.
But yeah, they'll come look in the door, but they won't necessarily bust you. Now they will bust your ass for being outside. See, right there. Let's see. We opened the warehouse too. We can buy guns, weaponry, melee, ranged, ammo. Never mind. Melee, you can buy a baseball bat.
This man did for a living in a little bit more detail.
You can buy
and whenever he gets his video out on that, I'll be
a revolver or M19.
Really neat
M19 ain't
check out
available
this
to
guy's
you yet, though.
operation.
But I need to go up here and hire some more employees. So all right.
I had to make a new pin.
So what do I want to
tongue on
get?
here, 'cause if I had it, I
All
lost
right, we'll
it.
get another chemist.
But
The
this will work.
barn.
We unloaded this
Deal.
thing in a hurry the other day. I think it was going to rain or it was getting dark or something. I don't recall, but it's got a flat tire and it's kind of shoved up
Hey,
against the shipping container here.
them's
So it's
facts there,
exactly a good
bro.
place to be working on it. Hopefully I can
But
drag this thing backwards a little ways. We'll try and get some wind
should
in
be
that
good with
tire
that. Well,
and then drag it someplace shady.
how many more was I gonna buy? I don't even know how much money I got. If I got enough.
Your business
Let's
is the
see.
result of years of hard work.
So
Bobcat equipment is more than a machine. It's an earth-moving, ground-sweeping, get the
definitely want to
job
buy a
done.
mixing station.
Let's
We'll go
build a
1,
world
2,
you wanna live in. Bobcat, one
3,
tough
4.
animal.
All right, so we got enough for that.
My hands are
Chill up, bro.
super.
Just smoke your
I'm a
own
retired
supply.
professional basketball player, and Symmetra is trying to help me find a hobby in retirement. So today, I'm gonna be doing this. Wow. I'm Jessie.
Oh
Nice to
yeah.
meet you. And I'm Ginny.
Cops ain't catching us now, bub.
Yeah. Yeah. How did that come about?
So I
Started doing
well,
this
so I got 2 more.
Yeah. That looked intense.
So I think
Symmetra wanted us to teach her a little bit about ninja training.
what chemistry I got. I think I only got. Yeah, that'll work. So I really don't need one.
Ascending quick couple steps, run across the tires, couple little agility
Cops might be able to
things,
see me right now.
ring dash across, like jump on this wall, and do a giant round up at the warp wall. I think that's it. My
So,
cow. It's gonna be a long day. Jessie and Ginny both make everything
you
look
see shit out of this thing.
entirely too easy. Symmetra, what are you doing? High five at the match. Fuck. I don't think I'd be a good stunt person is what we're learning. Stay relaxed. So for a second, you're like, okay, like the TikTok. You're like, all right, just swinging back and forth here. Like letting go.
Hey guys, y'all making some pretty good stuff. So the mixing station.
So do you guys still compete? Yeah, I get to share with the world what's possible in your 40s or 70s or 70s. It's like I can have a super successful career, retire, and start another one at 60. I feel like she's
We'll go
the most
there.
inspiring competitor. It calls to you, doesn't it? It calls to my like 12-year-old self.
You
The
there.
44 is over here like, do you need to do this? When you start doing it, you realize just how much technique is involved. Yes, there it is. How much timing is involved. Oh, that was better. I'm
So,
thrilled that Symmetra brought me here to do this.
I'll put.
I'm an athlete, so you're competitive, and I was like, I'm ready for this challenge. But am I really ready? Yeah. You want to try the whole thing?
Four.
Yeah, thank you guys. Don't forget to breathe. Okay, you got this.
Should we got 2 more?
I think this is one of those things where if you're gonna do it, you really have to dedicate yourself to it. Nice. Keep going. Spot the ring. Line up the hips. Nice.
4.
The swinging, that requires so much strength. Quick feet. I wasn't sure if I was gonna come across something that I physically wasn't gonna be able to do.
Hey man, chill.
Just in the air. Like this is just you up there. Oh.
What my Dillard's got.
Just kill myself. Okay, I'm scared. The warp wall's no joke.
There.
Focus.
Okay,
take a
it
breath.
wore off.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah, everything can. I got one. I'm saving one of. It's called like OG slime or something. It turns them like lime green, like under a black light, lime green, and it gives them one eye. Yay, Keela monkey butt.
It was amazing, and to see her.
What you
open
doing,
up
baby
this
girl?
category was really fun for us.
How many viewers we got right now, Cannon? Because it's telling me 0 on my Streamlab.
It's been a while.
Let's see.
How sore am I gonna be? I'm gonna be like crazy sore.
Are you sore now?
Maybe?
Oh yeah, they do. Okay, well, that's good enough. 4 watches. See, it says 0 on mine, bro. It says shit. She'll smash that like button for me too. Please. It's just that booty dude, bro. Alright, so, fuck, I knew I was going to, too. Man, forgot old boy's bed. But, I can go ahead and get everything delivered. So, Oscars.
Alright, so now I'm going to use my air compressor to fix my air compressor.
I already ordered something. Okay. I think I have a little bit of that left, Cannon. I'll go get it out of the house in a minute, and I'll show it to you. So product, the delivery. And I need.
This tire wouldn't take air when we tried to load it. Maybe it will now after I just drove on it. Plus it's a little warmer today.
Doesn't make any sense. I got 2 loading docks, bro. Or did I already get it? Oh, okay. Never mind. Oh. Alright. But I gotta go get homeboy a bed.
That's my 230-gallon bead blaster. I hope that gets it. I've never tried this. Let's hope it works.
I have 2. This bitch working.
Not even close.
She's got plenty of money.
I don't think this one's gonna
Alright, we're gonna go get a bed real quick. Alright, Bubba. Tell her Uncle D loves her. Oh man, I was already on the road. The hardware store's on. Oh, it's not open though.
It was on for a second.
So I'm about to go to sleep. I'm gonna go to sleep.
I've never had to ether one from both sides, but there's always a first for everything.
The hardware store, is it really right here?
I don't understand what's going on with my
Yeah.
jack, but I can't get it to go down, so I'm just gonna pull forward.
Pretty cool. How many do I need? There's 1, right? Maybe 2 packaging stations.
Nope, nope, no, this is too cold, too cold. Go back, too cold, too cold. Take it back. Go back. I don't think it's working. I think we're stuck here. It's winter. I think we're sufficiently cooled off. Let's drag this thing into the shop.
Hey, it's me, your skin under here, your itchy, flaky scalp. I'm craving relief. New CeraVe Anti-Dandruff Hair Care. This breakthrough formula was developed free from common irritants and allergens, with 3 essential ceramides and our unique MIT-free pyrithione zinc. It eliminates up to 100% of visible flakes without disrupting our scalp barrier. Now I'm looking flake-free and our hair is feeling healthy, nourished, and soft. New CeraVe Anti-Dandruff Hydrating Hair Care, reinvented with dermatologists.
Alrighty, well, let's take a good walk around this thing. Finally soak it all up in. Right off the bat here. I'm not saying it's holier than the Pope, but it's probably got a leg up on like an archbishop or a deacon or something. I think I read somewhere on the tag that it's like a 79 model, I think. Date of manufacture is 1979, March 14th. It's pretty cool that they put it all the way down to the date that this thing was built. That's pretty cool. She's got some years on her and definitely some age, but I think it's mostly cosmetic. You can see our control panel here. We've got, what we got here on the gauge is compressor discharge pressure, reads all the way up to 200, but I doubt you get that, probably around 120, 140. Amp meter, tach, and an hour meter. Hour meter glass is really hard to read. It looks like maybe like 1200 hours, but I can't tell if there's a digit that I'm missing there. Air temp, well, that's pretty cool. Engine oil pressure, engine water temperature. Nice. Looks like our control panel here. We've got, I'm gonna have to read the starting instructions on these. Some compressors are kind of picky. So like prime, I think that's just a fuel system thing. Start should just crank it over. Safety circuit bypass though, I'm not sure about that one. Sometimes you have to hold those until the compressor gets up to speed or kind of builds pressure or something. And then like this one is the same as my other compressor. You push this button after everything's warmed up and that revs the engine up to full RPMs and full pressure. Got a couple filter minders over here for your engine and your compressor separate. And this guy shuts down your engine. Still pulls, so that's good. The cable's not all seized up. Let's see what's behind door number 1 here. All right, we're on the business end of the compressor, I guess. This is our, receiver tanks, and I don't know all these components to name them for you, but I think, yeah, this is our discharge. This is the air going out to the ginormous 4-prong Chicago fitting over there. This isn't your standard Chicago fitting you've probably seen before. This thing is massive. Oh, yeah, right here. This is a standard Chicago fitting that most people are used to seeing. That's like a 1-inch hose. I think that's a 2-inch hose that we got on the out pressure. I think that's a 2-inch hose on the outlet side of this compressor. Ooh, that spins. What's that do? I think that's the valve that feeds the main output, and then this guy is before that valve, so you have a separate ball valve here to run this Chicago coupling, so you can run a smaller 1-inch line without having to mess with reducing your big line. Looks like a pretty massive radiator on this thing. That's a big old cooling pack. Also got a big oil cooler in front of it as well. And I hope that thing doesn't leak. Well, we got all the compressor data here. If you guys are interested in reading this whole data sheet, you can just hit pause. Well, that's pretty cool. Gross weight, including the fuel and coolant, 11,900 pounds. She's a big gal. That is a honky-tonkin' compressor. What we got behind this door? Oh man, all the sound deadening insulation foam is just, ugh, deteriorating. Just shovelfuls of rust scale built up in there. A couple ancient Group 31 batteries. Ooh, even stud top 31s. Man, these guys knew how to party. Every machine in the world should have stud top Group 31s in it. Prove me wrong. Anyways, this is the back side of our receiver tank and oil tanks and stuff. This is a giant air filter. We're gonna have to pull that out and make sure there's no rat's nests or anything in that. I don't know if it's for the compressor side or the engine side. Looks like it goes into the engine, so that's the engine air filter. But that guy right there, ooh, that's the reason I'm most excited about this unit. That's a Detroit 6V71N series 2-stroke diesel engine. This thing's gonna sound so good. Ugh. More foam falling apart over here. There's the other side of our engine. And I did sneak a peek at this already before you guys, and I was looking, all the filters, you can tell how long this thing's just been sitting around. Dated 96, 2000. The primary fuel
Ooh, excuse me, I had a sneeze.
I think that's the most recent date that I've seen on anything. Also, before we get any further, I was looking at this yesterday. It's got some sort of like coolant line that runs down here into this block that's on the bottom side of the exhaust manifold, and then there's a solenoid here. Now, it's not wired up. Doesn't look like it works, but what does that do? Like, why is there coolant being plumbed into the exhaust manifold? If you guys know, drop a comment down below. Another giant air filter over here. I believe that is for the air compressor side of things. This bad boy is one half of the fuel tank. To see the rest of it, we have to move all the way down here. That's a big fuel tank. I think the spec sheet over there says it holds like 110 gallons. That sounds right. Sounds kind of empty, and I'm pretty concerned about the amount of rust that's up here on top of the fuel tank. Now, some of it came from up there, but not very much by the looks of it. So, hoping we don't have any rust holes down through the tank, but it's not looking good. There's the actual compressor head side right there. You can see this giant screw compressor right there. And I think this is all like governor linkages and whatnot, speed controls. I don't know how all of it works. There you go. They checked the antifreeze and dated it 11/7/98. It was good down to -33. Hopefully we'll never see that temperature.
All right. All right. Hey, y'all smash a like button for me while y'all in here, please. We're trying to build some shit.
Under this flap,
okay,
like our
so
fuel tank lid. I have not had this
I
off.
do need to head and check on the other guys.
That's what I was afraid of.
Go ahead.
Pretty rusty in the neck, which makes me feel like there's probably some moisture in there. I can see the shimmer of some sort of liquid down there. Let's grab a light. Alright, let's have a gander. Yeah, see, there's what I'm talking about, that rust in the neck. So that's the highest point in the tank, so that means all the rust comes up, and, or all the moisture rather, comes up and lingers right in this neck. Well, actually, looking down the tank is not that bad.
Share it away. Get y'all's friends in here.
Rubber boot here where there's no rust, and then you
Oh,
down
no.
here where there's more steel, there's some rust again. But actually, inside the tank itself, it doesn't look all that terrible.
I'll be off for a little bit, bro. A little while longer.
Definitely
Maybe
does not smell good.
guessing 8 o'clock, give or take.
Not good at all.
Don't hold me to it, though.
I'm wondering, you know, if there is moisture in this tank, if water got in there, it's floating whatever fuel is left in there up and out. Like I said, I'm very concerned about the state of the fuel tank because just look at the amount of rust.
Everybody fucked up.
And it's not from up there. It's all just from water sitting on top of this tank and steel flaking off. Let's look and see if this tank has a drain on it. Maybe we can drain the bottom of the tank and see if there's any water.
Definitely.
There is a drain.
Definitely move all of our plants over there. So let's go ahead and do that.
Oh, supposed to be
Bulldog, shut up.
easy turn valve. No longer turns easy. Also making me wonder.
Or should I just leave this here?
Also, the whole bottom of this unit on this side
Man, I don't
kind of has
fucking
the,
know.
like, oily fuel residue on it. So maybe it's.
It would kind of be easier to do everything in one area. But, oh, actually, you know what? Over there, I can upgrade the shit.
I think it's safe to say that that's probably blocked up somehow. Let me grab a wire and see if I can fish a wire up through there. Well, we got some sludge starting to come out. Oh yeah, it's like grease.
So it took all the soil out. Good job. Good job,
Well, that actually
buddy.
looks like fuel. I'm impressed. It looks like really nasty old fuel, but
What's up, bro? Nicking?
still fuel.
Nicking like a chicken?
Detroits don't care. They'll run on anything.
Yeah, you know you want that shit.
Yeah, you know, as nasty as that looks, it is better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Just go back. The demo was up, so remember I had a little while where it was the demo.
Water droplets mixed with some dirt. The rest of this is fuel, or a substance formerly known as fuel. So I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in the video or not, but I bought this unit completely not knowing whether it's
Oh, he's going
any
home.
good at all.
Shit.
I didn't know. It's just been sitting for so long. The people I bought it from were kind of cleaning out an estate, and it's just.
What I should have done, I should have did episodes.
There we go. The oil actually looks really good. Right, maybe a little over full, but not bad. Looks really nice and clean. But of course, if it's been sitting for as long as I suspect, the dirt will actually fall out of suspension in the oil.
What y'all doing out here, bitches?
So it'll look like brand new oil, but the dirt's down there at the bottom. Oh goodness, look at that.
Hold on, bro. All y'all got is 40 to show for this.
Flaky.
I know that
Engine
bald
oil
fuck
is
better get to
good.
work.
Fuel source seems to be okay. We need to check the air cleaners yet and the
So
antifreeze.
we do got some
I
stuff.
guess since we're here,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
start
right,
with this
bitch.
air cleaner. There's supposed to be a little rubber boot here that kind of collects the debris without
Take the
giving
soil
open
over here to the
access
botanist.
for air to come in that way. There's why we check it. Critter nest. But the filter itself, the flutes and everything.
Hey, do it for me, Cannon. Dude, I will pay you, bro, if you have the time to do it.
Yeah, that looks like a brand new filter to me. Looks to me like they might have changed it in '96 and hardly ever run the thing
I
ever
need to
again.
get
The inner filter looks
seeds
good as
delivered.
well. I think it's got a little bit of run time on it, but it still looks fine. I'm gonna grab the shop vac and suck out this critter nest.
Then we go put one on my. Ooh, shoulda. What about me?
If you
What about
want
me?
a high-performance, fully
Why is he allowed to be out
automated
there?
lawnmower that can handle complex terrain, slopes, and precise edge cutting, you're gonna want to check today's video out. All right, guys, welcome back to another video. If you guys
Man.
enjoy keeping a nice-looking lawn, but you don't want to be spending hours mowing your lawn, pushing your mower around, doing all that extra
Sandy
work,
put me a bed here
today
too.
I have an awesome product for you guys. We are going to be going over the EcoVax Goat A2500 RTK. This machine came to me. I was really interested in grabbing it because honestly, when I spend a lot of time in my front yard, I kind of do neglect my backyard. It doesn't get mowed nearly as often. It doesn't get as much attention. So I wanted something that can kind of help me out a little bit. I went ahead and got this machine. So we're gonna go ahead, unbox it today, and set it on up. All right, guys, and there she is. This is the EcoVax Goat A2500 RTK. It has a 32-volt energetic platform.
All right, Cannon.
It can mow over 5/8 of an acre in just 13 hours. And it has a lens LiDAR enhanced RTK navigation system, so that way, if it does lose signal with that RTK, the system will.
So that was the compressor
See,
side.
ain't got no way down there, bro.
We need to check the engine side here still. Yeah. Looks like the same story as the other side. Filter itself looks pretty clean with a little bit of critter nestage down here.
Hello.
Yeah. A little bit of discoloration to the pleats, but I don't think it's from dirt. I think it's just from sitting. Well, we'll suck that out. Put it all back together. covered all the basics minus the antifreeze, and I was looking around at the radiator trying to find the cap to check it, and I can see it, but it's all the way up against the roof there. And I'm thinking, how in the heck do you actually check it? But then I look closer. There's a little hatch up here. I think this hatch opens and we can check the antifreeze from here. There's a latch up here that is seized up solid. Soak her down. I've got to say, not the most convenient way to check the antifreeze. I could see this getting neglected quite frequently on a job site. There's a big exhaust pipe with a big heat shield right between me and the latch, so there's not even any good way to get in here and like tap on it, loosen it up. It is rusted up hard. Oh yeah. I like when the air compressor is big enough you can get up inside of it to work on things. That's when you know you've got enough air. Hey, I got the latch to start moving. Yeah! We win! We're in. We're out, actually. We're up here. You can have a party on top of this thing. It's huge. Anyways, the reason for us being up here, let's check this antifreeze. Okay, so let's step into my office and check this antifreeze out. All right. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? Come on. Come on, do we have antifreeze? Please say we have antifreeze. I see some moisture. That is not what I wanted to see. That's worse than no antifreeze. That's sludge. Oh no. I don't like it. Really don't like it, but I don't know what to do about it either. It looks like the tops of the cores in the radiator are like mostly clogged. This is not good. So I went ahead and gently reinstalled the radiator cap on account of I don't want to deal with that at the moment. We have a lot to worry about before we have to worry about the antifreeze. So we're just going to ignore that problem for the moment. And if this thing runs and functions, then we'll concern ourselves with the radiator. If it was summertime, I might just dump straight water in there and let it run with that, circulate, and see what that looks like, and probably try to flush the system a couple times with water and maybe some detergent even. It's not summer. It's definitely too cold outside. If I don't get anywhere with this at the moment and have to shove it back outside for some reason,
Right, I'm back.
Forget about it having diluted antifreeze in there and freezing and causing bigger issues. But I also don't want to waste a whole crap load of antifreeze because this system, according to this chart over there, says it holds like 38 gallons if I remember.
Oh.
That's a lot of antifreeze. It gets pretty pricey, so we're gonna ignore that. Let's move our attention over to the engine and see if we can't get this beast fired up. Looking at the sight glass here on the oil reserve tank, we've got plenty of compressor oil. It might need change. It's a little dark, but we can probably take a sample of that and know better. A lot of oil, and I don't believe that's cheap oil. I think that's pretty expensive oil, so if it doesn't need replaced, I don't want to replace it. So though we can't see anything in the radiator, I'm trying to verify that we at least have coolant into the block, preferably the top half of the block, so we can at least try to run it. This pipe here that you're seeing runs all the way back to the top of the radiator. So if I already loosened this clamp a little bit, I just want to try to pry up on that boot, and if I see water start to come out of there, I'll be happy. That means it should mean that we have at least antifreeze up this far. But
Hardest dude running out of
tapping
freaking
on that pipe
jars, man.
I also noticed that boot over there, right off the water pump, looks kind of wet. So maybe it's been leaking over the years, just sitting there weeping. And as long as this thing's been sitting, it could have leaked off quite a lot. Yeah, that's good. We got green antifreeze coming out of there. It doesn't look
Yeah, by
anything
the
like that
jar,
stuff we saw
like
in the
that.
radiator. Oh yeah, that's great. Perfect. So if it's up this high,
There you
that's the top half of the engine. I'm at least confident enough that we could run it for a while and not have to worry about getting hot. Once it runs and circulates too, things might not look so grim up there in our radiator. Alright, I feel better about that.
Peppa and her family are taking baby Alexander on the Ferris wheel, but he isn't very happy.
What's that smell? Yeah!
It's baby Alexander. He needs a nappy change.
Actually, you know what? I need
But
some
we're at the
baggies
front
too.
of the queue for the Ferris
Already
wheel.
have batteries. Shit.
Hold your noses, everyone.
Ooh, this Ferris wheel smells terrible. Sorry, Peppa, but it's our job to look after baby Alexander.
If we help now, we can play later.
Yes, baby Alexander needs our help.
That's the spirit. Now let's go and look for a nappy changing station.
Oh, that's
So we got this. So let's do this, and we'll go with some battery.
Not here. Definitely not here.
Peppa Pig bullshit. Come on, man.
So at this point in the game, we know all the fluids are at least good enough to give her a go. You might be tempted to just grab some batteries and hook onto it and see what's going to happen. You better not do that, at least not with the Detroit. The way the Detroits are built, they have unit injectors, and they are known to get stuck fuel racks. And basically what that means is when the engine shuts off, the rack goes into the wide open position, and then as soon as it starts, it kicks it back down to an idle. However, when these things sit for any amount of time, it's pretty common that the injectors like to hang up, which basically, by way of the fuel rack, makes everything hang wide open. And then if you start it with a couple stuck injectors, it will just scream its head off until something either lets go or you get it shut off. Well, it's hard to shut it down when it's running wide open. Pretty much the only way you can get it shut down if it's in that stuck position is to cut the air off to it. Now, some engines actually have that air cutoff flapper. I don't know that this one does. I know that a lot of the inline engines have it. I've never seen one on a V-configured Detroit, but then again, I haven't worked on a lot of V-configured Detroits. So I don't see any kind of emergency shutdown cable. The only shutdown cable is this one right here, which just pulls the governor down into an off position, basically. Luckily, it's pretty easy to check the racks, especially in this machine. It's just two little bolts here on top of each valve cover. We'll pop the valve covers off, verify that the rack is free, or if it's stuck, we'll have to get it moving again. The last thing I want to do before we start getting serious about trying to start this thing is even verify that the engine is free, because at this point, I do not know for sure that the engine's free. The way the exhaust is routed and everything, I don't think water's been able to get in here, but you just don't know. Even if there isn't any water in it, things can get stuck just from sitting. Let me grab a socket. We'll throw it on the crank up here. Well, that's not the crank, but it's a gear-driven pulley, so we should be able to spin the engine over from that point. All right, well, this is kind of the moment of truth to tell if this is going to be an easy project or a big project. Fingers crossed. What do you guys think? Is it going to turn or is it not? Boy, I really hope it turns. Ah! It's... Oh, yeah, it's turning nice. It's, I mean, maybe a little stiff. But it's turning.
Afghan Urkel.
I want to make it do at least 360 degrees rotation make sure we don't have anything binding up either in the engine or in the compressor side of things, since we are directly tethered to the compressor. They both have to turn freely. All right, I don't hear anything weird. Everything sounds good. I'm excited. That is a great sign. Let me grab a wrench and we'll pop these covers off.
Grab that.
Let's see what's behind door number 1 here. Ooh, a really clean looking engine. There's like no sludge going on up here or nothing. Wow, that's impressively clean. One rack is free. Oh, that one's a little stiff. I think that one is stuck. I was really hopeful when I saw how clean it was that this was not going to be a bunch of stuck injectors, but it's not looking great. Easy way to tell you have a stuck injector too right now, since we've turned the engine over, it probably pushed that injector down, and now there is free clearance here between the rocker and the injector plunger. As you can see, I can slide the pick underneath of there. All kind of room under there. The spring's not coming back up is what it is. So we can hope that it's not super stuck, because the engine turned over fairly easy. We can take a pry bar and just try to slowly lift up on that plunger. Oh, I think it did move too, so yeah, it's moving. That thing's barely stuck. All I'm going to do is soak it down with some penetrating oil there, try to get it through the spring in there to the actual injector. Now I can take my little bar here and just push that injector down. I'm putting my bar back on the engine here. We're going to turn it over and watch all the injectors and make sure they're coming back up. Middle one definitely is. That back one, it's coming up. I just need to watch this front one again. Yeah, it's coming up a little bit, but not all the way. So it's not super stuck, which is good. Try to get my little bar in here again and just pry it back up without damaging anything. All right, with the exhaust valves depressed, I can get in there a little bit better. Oh yeah, it moved easier that time than the last time. So we'll just keep turning it over, making sure that thing starts freely floating. Oh yeah, she's coming around a few more times. It's gonna be back to released. Oh yeah, I think we got her now. Yep, it is officially unstuck. So this bank is good. We can put that valve cover back on. Sweet. Normally these engines I'm working on are so terrible that I don't feel bad getting a little bit of dirt down inside of there, but man, this one is spotless inside. I'm doing my best to keep it clean. All right, to the next side. Well, with the exhaust and other various hoses and pipes and wires and stuff going on here, it's going to be a little tougher to get you guys in to see this side, but as always, I'm committed to doing my best for you. Yeah, we need to get Monica back in here on this. Again, extremely clean. I mean, look at the underside of that valve cover. That thing looks like brand new. That is wild. Looks like we got the middle one for sure is stuck. The back one is free. The front one might be stuck. It's pushed down, so it's hard to tell right now. Soak her down there. Oh, not bad at all. It popped up just like the other side did. Barely stuck. That's good. I like that. There we go. That's 6 out of 6 free. Guess what, guys? I think we're finally ready to try to give this thing a go. You think she's gonna light? Well, I've got power hooked up and nothing's on fire yet, so it's passing the smoke test. The whole time I've been poking around on this thing, I've been looking and paying attention to like the wiring and stuff, and everything looks to be in good shape, so hopefully this thing's just gonna crank. I guess I should probably read the starting instructions, huh? It says to refer to the instructions on the inside of the control panel door. There are none. So I guess just wing it then. I think that's the instructions I'm getting. So, I don't know, what's prime? Oh, okay. We hit the prime button, we got an electric fuel pump cranking. Perfect. I heard it. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but it kicked on an electric fuel pump, and I could hear it slow down and build pressure, so it went until it was pretty much stopped. I don't know what safety circuit bypass is, but I feel like we might have to hold that to crank it, or to get it to run. But, man, I guess here goes nothing. Contact? Oh, this thing is sweet. We got smoke coming out of the top. That's a good sign. She wants to go.
We're Coulter and Trent, brothers and co-founders of Sunday, and we believe that lawn care should be easy, safe, and effective. Eco-friendly products have helped over 1 million customers, and now we're bringing them to lawn care businesses. With
Creamy
competitive
chicken,
prices,
garlic,
easy-to-use
pasta.
products, we offer everything from liquid fertilizer to weed control.
It's in the crop or in the
Designed
instant
for
pot. Take a
any
look at it.
region or season, and trusted by people across the country. Zero harsh chemicals, safer for your crew, your clients, and the environment. Join the Sunday Pro Supply program today.
So I'm trying to be like really gentle, but he's being a little jerky and trying to call it on my horn.
These are our people.
Yeah,
Our
I don't
salty
like it.
brethren.
You ain't give me exact change.
He's salty, but I'm the saltiest.
Oh, saltier than me? When I smile, people assume it's a glitch.
Please, I'm the human version of Monday.
I just gave him a...
Why is Rick so good? So annoying.
Salty
Yeah.
show-offs.
Feel that?
I love them. Read the sign, Bunny.
You're gonna get us kicked out.
So?
That's better.
Loved by everyone, even the saltiest.
We got some air pressure spilling out of here somewhere. Maybe that's something to do with that safety circuit bypass thing. Let's hold that button down and crank it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Diesel Creek. My name's Matt. I am really excited today because I have finally found a machine that I've been looking for quite some time, and I'm about to go pick it up. check this thing out, guys. I just picked up this beautiful Laterno D4 scraper. It's called a Turnipull. I've been looking for one of these for a while, so we worked out a deal on this one today, and it's going home with me. The gentleman that sold it to me also has a very neat truck over here. He just fired it up, and it's for sale too, so maybe some of you guys might be interested in it, but even if not, it's neat to look at. I've never seen one. Beautiful condition. What year did you say it was?
1922.
1922 Samson. What would that have been, like a half ton or a 1 ton or something? 3/4 ton? Yep. Very neat old truck.
Model 25.
Oh.
So he's informed me that something I didn't know is that these things were actually built this way with no valve cover or anything. There's a hood that comes over the top. He's got it sitting back here, but he said you just stop every 10 minutes and oil up the valve train, huh? Yep. That is something very neat. Very awesome truck.
did that too.
What does a good investment opportunity look like? At T. Rowe Price, we let curiosity light the way, asking smart questions about opportunities like AI and how the industry's born to support AI might better support us all. Better questions, better outcomes.
When we come to the table, it's what we all bring that matters.
Okay, okay.
San Pellegrino, bring your best.
Yeah,
Behind
bro.
me is something that I am very excited to have finally acquired. I've been looking for one of these for several years now. This is a Laterno Model D4 turn-pull scraper, and they call these sometimes the airborne scrapers or the flying scrapers because these things were designed, I think during World War II, to be airdropped out of planes into remote areas to help construct small runways so that they could get bigger pieces of equipment to build larger runways. So these were kind of just almost like a throwaway item. They literally threw them out of planes, but then I don't think they had much life expectancy. After they did the little bit of work that was required of them, they were probably discarded. I'm no military historian. I don't know the military side of these things. In fact, I don't know a very complete history of these at all. What I do know is that they didn't make them very long. I think there were 680 some of these units built, and most of those were for the military. This one was built as a civilian model, and of those civilian models, I don't think a ton survived. As you guys probably are well aware, I am very much in the antique equipment space. I pretty much look for equipment every single day, all day, and it's taken me years to come across one of these things. So I just got back from Ohio where I picked this thing up. Let's take a little walk around and I'll show it to you guys and see what we can get into with it. As you may have guessed by the fact that I just pulled it off with the telehandler, it does not currently run. So this unit was restored by a gentleman about 10 or 15 years ago, I think I was told. And then unfortunately he passed away before they could complete it. But it was running and driving at the time. This unit is powered by a Continental Y112. I think I have the spec sheet for this machine somewhere, and I think it's like something around 40 horsepower. So what a scraper does, if you're not aware, is that this little wagon it's towing behind it here is kind of like a scoop. Now there's a bunch of extra parts and stuff in here right now, but normally there wouldn't be anything in here, obviously. So you have the floor of the bucket here. It drops down and has a cutting edge on the front. It engages the ground and starts letting dirt kind of flow up into the bucket. And then once you get it full, you make sure you have your door shut at the front. You drive this to wherever it needs driven to, and then you want to unload it. So you have the back of the bucket here is actually slides. They call this the ejector. And you open up your door on the front, the ejector shoves forward and unloads all the dirt. And when you get good enough with a scraper, you can actually kind of grade with it as you go. It's not maybe as accurate as using a dozer or a grader, but you can do a pretty good, nice, level, consistent lift. And that way a couple scrapers can work in conjunction with each other and do a lot of cut and fill very quickly. Scrapers seem to go by the wayside today more than they used to. They used to be a lot more popular. I think today you see a lot more excavators loading haul trucks. But with the right ground conditions and the right scraper setups, you can move a heck of a lot of dirt with the scraper. So as you can see at the moment, we're missing the hood. I do have it, it's in my truck, along with some other assorted pieces. On a typical articulated machine, you would have a couple rams back here that would steer the front end to the back end, and that was how you would steer it. But on this old girl, they have it rigged up kind of like a dozer, where you have steering clutches and wheel brakes, and that's the only way you steer the front end around, is kind of let one wheel outrun the other. The little bit I've seen these things on YouTube running around, they look kind of jumpy and jittery, so it's definitely going to be something to get used to. If you haven't noticed already, there are no hydraulics on this machine. Everything is powered by cables, as you can see right here. That's no different than a lot of old scrapers. The fact that this one's mini just kind of makes it a little bit more fun, in my opinion. I haven't seen a great way of getting up onto this thing other than stepping on the cable drum here, kind of pulling yourself up. So from the operator's platform, you can see we're missing some gauges and
Yeah.
things. These would be your steering
I
clutches,
don't want
just
none,
like
bro.
a dozer. These are hydraulic though, they're not mechanical. So we're gonna have to go through that whole hydraulic clutch system, make sure they're functioning correctly. So you have a clutch over here, and then a main brake that would brake the whole unit. And then this little guy in the center here is your throttle. Over here to my right, you have your controls. I think this one runs the winch that controls the knockdown blade up there. Then these two levers over here control the bowl and the ejector part of the scraper behind you. Now you guys know that I am just super into all this old stuff, but some of you may be wondering why you would even want to waste your time with such a small machine. It's definitely not going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot. I think the heaped capacity of this scraper is right at 3 yards. So you're definitely not moving a ton of material. Why would you want to mess with this thing, Matt? Well, just the uniqueness, first of all, and like I said, the rarity. This is a 1947 model. So she's got some years on her, and I bet she's got some stories to tell. But the main reason I liked it so much is because it's so portable. You guys saw it fits right on the red trailer, super easy. It's not that heavy. I think it's somewhere around 12 to 13,000 pounds, if that. It might only be 10. So it's really easy to load it up and take it to equipment shows. Heck, it's so easy to maneuver, and it goes halfway decently fast. I think in high gear it's supposed to go 16 miles an hour. I might even take it to some car shows. So the gentleman I bought this thing from was the son of the guy that actually did the work to it and restored it. He said he remembers his dad running around on it before they painted it, or maybe right after they painted it. But as I said, they just never got around to completely finishing it up, and that's where it sat. So he decided to part with it. I scooped it up. Now we gotta finish putting it back together and hopefully get it running and functioning again. I have all the faith in the world that the little Continental's probably gonna fire right up. The only thing I really checked on it when I bought it was that the engine is free. I just spun it just enough to say, yep, it's not locked up. Sitting as long as it has, I want to go ahead and pull the spark plugs out. We'll drop a little bit of oil down in there, try to lubricate the pistons a little bit, take a gander at what all's going on under the hood here as far as wiring goes, oil pressure gauges and that kind of thing. Yeah, see right there we have an oil line just hanging off there, not doing anything. So before we can fire it up, we got to go through and make sure everything has the fluids, has the connections that it needs. We don't want to fire it up and start just dumping oil somewhere. In addition to the oil in the engine, of course, we're going to have transmission oil back here somewhere, as well as, I believe this winch drive has, yeah, oil right here. So that looks like a fill spot for the winch. That looks like a drain. That looks like a level plug. So we should probably be able to take that plug out and just fill it up till the oil dribbles out of there. Definitely a very neat unit, and I'm really excited to play with this thing.
Save more with the Low Payment Kings at Lake Wales Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
During the Low Payment Kings Jeep celebration this week, take advantage of 0% APR financing for 72 months on several award-winning models, including 25 Pacifica Hybrid, 24 Dodge Charger Daytona RT All-Wheel Drive, 24 Jeep Wrangler 4xe, or 24 Jeep Wagoneer S.
Ask us today at LakeWalesCDJR.com.
Here at Electric E-Bikes, we are all about experience, which is why over 250,000 riders have joined us since our launch 3 years ago.
Making fun and affordable e-bikes available to the masses has always been our goal, and we just bumped the utility up a notch.
Introducing the Electric XP 3.0.
As the industry's first folding e-bike designed for 2 people, the XP 3.0 includes our strengthened rear rack and our next-gen 1,000-watt peak motor. Paired with an upgraded 3-wheel, this new design will let you feel the power behind your pedaling at any speed.
And to provide extra confidence for your longer rides, we've included a brand new passenger mode, as well as full compatibility with a 14-amp-hour long-range battery.
A sturdy and capable new setup means you can carry your precious cargo wherever you go.
It's compatible with all of the fan-favorite accessories, including our Wag-Along pet trailer, cargo basket, comfort package, and more. Since the XP 3.0 can accommodate heftier delivery loads, we're also launching brand new food delivery boxes. And for those late-night deliveries, we've also engineered a brand new Elite headlight, brighter than ever before.
We know that comfort is key when it comes to riding electric, which is why we've also improved the braking power to 180mm disc brakes and increased front suspension to 50 millimeters. The XP 3.0 accommodates a wide range of abilities and preferences with a classic XP frame option.
Fuck you, right?
All right, so let's dive into our little Laterno airborne scraper here. I don't know exactly what is done and not done under the hood here. As I mentioned earlier, this is a restoration stalled many, many years ago. So we just got to kind of go over everything, have a little look-see. There's just random wires hanging out here, not connected to anything. So stuff like that we got to figure out. We're obviously missing some gauges. I think this is an oil pressure
Got a casino now too.
line. Like this should run up to a gauge, but the gauge isn't there. So we'll either need to connect a gauge or cap that off before we can try to run this thing. I did check the dipstick before I bought it. It's got half full clean oil in it. It feels like if I squeeze the bottom radiator hose, it feels like there's some coolant in it, but you can't see it on account of the way the neck is on the radiator. So we'll just top that off, make sure it's good and full. We'll have to look in the book, see if there's a way to check transmission oil. I think you just got to pull this lid off, maybe. I do have the manuals for it. The biggest thing, I don't think we're going to struggle too much to get it actually running. I think the biggest holdup is going to be the steering system. The way this works is there's clutches in each wheel, and you have master and slave cylinders that run off of these steering clutches, kind of like a dozer. And this one here, oh, that's lovely. The whole valve block is shaking around while I'm doing it. We'll address that. But this one here feels like there's some fluid resistance in there, like it might actually be working. But this one over here has got nothing going on, so that's going to be probably the battle to overcome. The mystical pouring of water. I'm just putting water in here for now because I don't know what's in the system. Probably needs run and flushed out anyhow. We just got to remember to do that before winter.
You know, I think someone in the comments probably will remind you around November.
Too late by November. So this is telling me how to remove the entire system. I don't really want to do that.
How do we refill it?
I don't know.
Oh look, it's a let dozer. I like how they just slap that name on everything. You notice that sweet tag?
Yeah, there's a tag.
Oh, tilt dozer. I thought it said let dozer. Tilt dozer. Sorry. This has to be the world's first. You know, easily, not from the seat angle, but still, you got tilt.
I think Cat was doing that in the 30s, weren't they?
We had to like put a bar in it. I don't think they had this like
fancy little
gear
mechanism
drive
there.
apparatus.
Perhaps not. Every individual piece of the machine has its own little ID tag. The blade has its own serial number and model number. The motor part has its own serial number and model number. The bowl has its own.
Do they all have dozer blades?
No, I
think
think
that's
so.
like an add-on option.
The option package.
I think all the military ones did have the blade.
Was this one military?
No, this was a civilian.
So is the blade for pushing dirt, or could you use it for other things?
No, it's actually for trimming hedges, John.
Sometimes loading scrapers.
Nah, you can't use it for a weapon, can you?
You can load trucks with it if you've got a steep enough ram.
Gotcha. Could you like push another one of these? Maybe help it out?
Maybe like this picture right here.
But where would the hedge trimming attachment bolt on?
You can actually
Good job.
I don't see it too. I'm not seeing the whole song.
Is it for pushing dirt? I found a diagram here, sort of the steering brake system here. If you can observe that, try to take that in, because I'm not going to be able to relay the information to you, because I can't really take it in. It's a unique system. It's going to take some figuring. This even warns you about cross-clutching, how I suspected.
So what is cross steering?
So if you're on a dozer and you're going down a steep hill without a load in front of you, so basically just like the engine's holding you back, or say you're pulling a scraper on a dozer and you have something pushing you down the hill, weight behind you, if you would pull your right steer clutch, instead of like on flat ground or when you're pushing something, you would turn to the right. When you're going down like that, if you pull the right steer clutch, now all that weight's pushing you and that track's disengaged, so you'll actually spin to the left because that clutch is freewheeling basically. It'll outwheel you. And this thing will do the same thing, which on a dozer it's a little hairy, but on this thing I'm sure it's extremely hairy. Because if you seconds of walking over the depressed. Screaming metal death trap, if you will. This top hat guy don't care though. Top hat man does not care.
Uber Eats is delivering more deals so you can watch more basketball. Right now, get a buy one, get one pizza from Little Caesars to get food to watch basketball. And then more food to watch more basketball. Order now, only on Uber Eats.
Somebody keeps sending me these.
You gotta be within 50 feet to send or drop.
It's someone in the restaurant. Why him? Why does he have to die?
You have to kill him and kill anybody, right?
I'm like the worst date ever.
No, you killing him.
I wish there was a way he could. Oh no. Oh no. I need it.
So, oil pressure gauge?
I'm looking, Big John, I'm looking. I don't know if they're in here or if they are in my other Connex condensing things into one area eventually. Step into my office, Big John. Can't meter gauge. I swear I have an oil pressure gauge here. Dang it! Organization. We're lacking in organization. Going the extra mile for the shot.
This is still not that easy. So we're hunting an oil pressure gauge for the mighty little Laterno scraper, and this one looks pretty awesome and seems to fit the bill. We're over here in the Hanson. This is its little 271 Detroit, which is in very bad, locked up, gonna get replaced shape. I hope this gauge works after all this.
It's gonna read 0. We're gonna question whether it's the gauge or the engine.
Yeah. Take the goods before I drop them.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
That is a cool looking oil pressure gauge. That does really fit the bill. Good call.
I wouldn't let you down, bud. I went shopping in the Diesel Creek flea market. Did you find what fluid we need for steering?
I didn't get to that point. No. People keep distracting me.
We need control F.
Thread's right on there. That's good. Grab a wrench, tighten that up. Wrench. They're on.
Isn't that that's like where it combines, like if you're pulling left or right, and it puts the yeah, I guess we're coming to the conclusion that it does put the brake on.
But it can't. Like, I don't know.
But then if you push the brake pedal down, it puts both the brakes on, and that all.
But I don't understand what it designates left or right then, because the master cylinder plumbs into the block down there that both of those valves are situated on, and there doesn't appear to be any kind of check valve.
Do you think that's its own cylinder, and that oil actually pushes on those cylinders? It's like a master slave cylinder in the middle of everything.
Right in the middle of the whole dang show is a real nice tongue, wouldn't you know?
I'm just.
Ooh, brick press. Where is my stuff?
So they call these the transfer valves, and they do appear to basically keep the left and the right separated. And then when you push on the brake pedal, I think it pushes one way or the other on that little piston, which then can apply both brakes at one time. So it's saying SAE 30 here. Thanks to Big John for his finding skills, but SAE 30 for the steering clutch hydraulic tank supply apparatus.
All right, so thanks to my lovely helpers here, we've determined that the system takes 30 weight and that there's none on the dipstick, Jimmy. We're gonna put it in here, and there's a strong chance this is gonna go everywhere, so I'm not gonna put a lot at first. Not that one.
Well, this one's actually got something going on.
Does it feel like it's actually pushing a clutch, maybe?
No, there's no way we're pushing a clutch, but there's not air. Well, there's much air. So it looks like this is the inspection cover, as they call it, on each side, and it's a long way from there to there, though. Get your arm down, there's some sort of a bleeder, it appears.
Man, I'm glad I got the manuals, huh?
Yeah. Before beginning, so they're showing this drain caulk down here where that's like the piston that disengages the steering clutch. And that inspection cover is somewhere up here. You got to reach your arm all the way down in there and loosen that guy.
Find the bleeder?
Found the bleeder. Yeah, can't get that. What do you need? Don't drop you. You're gonna go swimming. You'll be in the world of ocean life. Oh, got it. Oh, pump it. Pump it. Yeah, that left. This one that I'm standing by. Oh, air's coming out.
Yeah, that's all right. Now you shut it because I got it all the way back. I can feel it when I broke it loose. Sucking it down.
Yeah.
Pushing pretty good.
Sorry, go ahead. I still got to keep putting my hand back in the oil to run this valve. The good news is the oil looks pretty good. Viscosity measures well. It's like a marsh funnel, really.
Sam, is that 1040 or 1030?
I think it's just good old high tran. This isn't high tran kind of like 10W30. High tran is normally multivisc. So I'm opening it. Go ahead forward. I'm opening when he pulls it back and then closing it, and then he pushes it forward. That way we're not sucking air in. Now I don't know how much it really matters because it is kind of submerged. When you pull it back and forth, I don't know if it would really hurt anything. Go ahead.
Well, it would still not draw it from the tank, right?
Well, that's true.
It would suck it back. Can you imagine doing this on a battlefield, getting shot at?
Go ahead.
Because I can't.
What if you're in the plane before it drops?
Worse.
You're on a very time-limited operation.
Better have your arms on that hole by the time the gate drops.
You're going parachuting with it. Go ahead.
With Swiffer Sweeper Dry, you get a clean, even mama brews up.
Nice reach.
Swiffer, love it or your money back.
After further review, you gotta go slow. But I still think something wrong.
Going in.
Boy, I don't know. You have to torch in a little more access.
It is not exactly mechanic friendly.
What are you looking for?
The bleeder for the clutch master cylinder. It is on that side. You can get right to it. This side, it's hateful.
You said it's on top.
Yeah, it's like under here. I wonder if they assembled it wrong. If they had this apart, like you could rotate that housing. You could bolt that.
Yeah, bro. Whoever comes up with these strand names is like.
Or the next guy.
Something wrong.
So what Matt is looking for is that little breather right there. It's buried in oil right now, so he's going fishing.
Go back. I see it. So it is there.
Where are you at?
That's a good question.
Oh, come here.
I found it.
Come
You
here.
can barely see it. It's right on top. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get there.
So you just have to break your arm to get it in there?
Yeah, you can just snap your fingers. So like, I'll put them in a vise and just crack them like that, and I'll be able to just cinch it right up.
Can you see it now? Or?
Yeah, you can kind of see it. Again, you can't get there from here is the issue. Well, we about got to the end of our rope trying to bleed this out the other night, and came back in here this morning.
Bitch.
Clearly, we have a leak somewhere. I think that's just about most of the oil that I put in this thing is now all over the floor. So I guess I'm gonna spend the next little bit trying to find said leak. In the meantime, Pigmat here. Alright, so to recap what we were trying to do last night, is these steering clutches ultimately run down to some pistons over here at the side of the transmission case, and they are what engages the clutch packs for each wheel. To bleed out those pistons, however, and get the air out of them so that the clutches actually function, there's a bleeder down inside the transmission here. I doubt you're going to be able to see it.
Launder some money. Yeah, I'll probably play a few more minutes and then call it a night.
Frame there, the top of the circle. there is supposed to be a bleeder, and there is. I mean, you can see it. The problem is you just can't get there from here. No matter how I twist and try to contort my arm to get down in there to the bleeder, I can't get at it. I can't get a tool on it, nothing. So the only thing I think I might be able to do to try to help myself out is actually remove the wheel so I can get my body in there at a better angle to try to break my wrist and twist it up around to get to said bleeder. So I guess let's zap this wheel off.
So what do I need to do? Ooh,
all right, well, let's see if I can get my arm in here now.
So, let's see.
No, it's a little better. I might be able to get it. All right, I broke it loose finally. Good gravy. I got the right clutch working. The left clutch, though, it's not always pushing fluid. I don't understand what's going on here.
Good stuff. Come on.
This left clutch is working now, although it's leaking out of the top of the master cylinder pretty bad. But it is working.
Verizon and AT&T announced price hikes a total of 10 times in the past 2 years. Families can switch to T-Mobile and get all the benefits of their plans while saving 20%. T-Mobile blows the competition away.
Oh no. The demo, no, it restarted me after the demos, bro. The full game came out on the 24th, so that'll be the day to start on. I mean, I ain't getting off just yet.
Doritos. Yeah.
The only thing that I can think would cause the issue that we have right now trying to bleed this clutch is this fitting right below this nut. It's right here, that guy. What that fitting is just like this. It's a check valve. And if it's not checking, then basically you're just pulling the fluid back and forth inside of that cylinder without building any pressure. Well, I feel stupid. I've been playing around with this thing, and I got to thinking, you know, where that bleeder screw at almost seems like it should rotate with the clutch assembly. And sure enough, it does.
Hey dude, you know
all
what?
I had to do
You're a fucker.
to get to that bleeder
Get off my
screw
shit.
was push the machine forward or backward, and it would have lined right up with the hole. It's close now, but I can get it even better than that. And yeah, point is I feel stupid, but the other point is it's definitely a lot easier to work on now. I actually got this left clutch working. Feels like it's disengaging like it should. It's got the proper spring bracket and everything and resistance that you would expect. This side over here, still not quite spring-a-thinging quite right, so gonna keep bleeding. Well, I hope you guys can see it. I've got the bleeder lined up exactly how you would want it now. I can just reach down here with a long pair of needle nose, crack it open. Problem is I'm still not getting any oil out.
Go there and gank my shit, bro. Let's do, bro. Get off me, man. Fucking punking me on 40. Hey, bro. That Girl Scout Urkel.
I may have just found part of our issue. Can you guys see the leak going on down there?
Standards.
Not terrible, but it ain't good either. I'll bet we could be sucking air from down there.
Her up.
No looks
What
like
was
it's
that,
coming from this
Benji?
fitting here partially.
Benji, old bitch ass. Okay,
Yep.
you can sit there, bitch.
Wasn't even tightened up. That'll do it.
Nope.
Let's see if that changes things for us.
I hope.
Hey, we're getting oil out of the bleeder now.
I hope. All y'all getting taxed though. But you getting taxed. Oh no. Yeah, you damn right. That's fine.
I'm not seeing any air come out of the bleeder anymore, but it still doesn't feel like we got any real clutch action going on here. Maybe a little bit. Doesn't feel as good as the other side, though, that's for sure.
Over here. Right.
Well, I bled it out.
NJ, my boy.
I bled it out some more. And if you pump it up like this, we do have some pressure. It is doing something. I can actually see down into the clutch pack there and see there is movement in there, and it doesn't look much different than the movement I see on the other side, although it does feel quite a bit different. So I wonder if the seals are just bypassing in this master cylinder. The other one's leaking really bad, so I think what's probably going to end up happening ultimately is those come out of there and get rebuilt.
Oh,
the previous owner told me that they were rebuilt 10 years ago when this thing was being put together, but you know, sitting without oil in can really do some damage to some seals really quickly. I don't recall which one it was, but when I looked at this machine,
Oh, ain't no big deal when they do.
and I pulled on it pretty good to get it to move, so I may have damaged the seal internally if it was seized up or something like that as well. So it could be my fault. I don't know. But point is, it's kind of working right now, and I'm really excited about my little pan here. So I think we're going to go ahead and try to get the engine running now, and hopefully the clutches work good enough for me to try this thing out and play with it a little bit, make sure there's no other issues that we need to attend to. And then if all goes well, we'll have to pull out those master cylinders and get them rebuilt. I'm not going to worry about the brake system right now because I have to completely take the brake system apart as well when I take these cylinders out.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I remember that sick. Yeah,
at that time, we probably really don't even need brakes with this thing, I don't think, but we will find out.
Hold on. Fuck.
All right, so in preparation of trying to start this little guy, I started examining the wires here. This is your hot
God,
lead
of
coming
course,
from
you
the
gotta
battery,
wait
goes up
the
to
fuck
your
back
starter
there.
relay. There is a hot coming off of that, which should run up to the key switch. There's a terminal on the key switch labeled battery, which is where that should go, I would think, but it's not in the correct position, so I'm going to check that out, make sure we get power over to our coil, and then maybe we'll have to clean the points up, and hopefully we don't have to get into the carburetor. It looks pretty clean from what I can see. I'm imagining that this thing hasn't been run again since they put it back together, but I don't know that, so we're just going to throw some gas at it first and see what happens, and if we have to, then we'll tear the carb apart.
Pawn shop, though. Oh, oh shit.
Make every wash count.
Where do you want to go? We out here at night, so we got tax, bro.
Oh, there we go. Battery's connected. Nothing's on fire, so that's a good sign.
Blaze that up. Should have put your butthole.
Right, well, let's see what's gonna
Your
happen.
eyeballs bite your butthole. Oh yeah, boy. Come on. Okay, West Wharf.
Spins over easy enough. Beautiful. I'm gonna grab a test light real quick and make sure we just have power to our coil. If we do, we can check for spark, and then we just gotta throw some gas.
I don't know.
At it. Hopefully it
I don't
fires
understand,
up.
bro. You hating on me, bro.
Should have power on the coil.
See, we gotta wait back here for Miss Kim, stupid
P on,
ass.
We got power. I think
Taking all damn
we'll
night.
Fire up. All right, go ahead and stick another spark plug in here. We're gonna check for spark. Gonna get out of contact.
I got a profile and shit, you know?
Nope. I'm not surprised. We'll clean up the points. Should be good to go. park now.
Here.
Oh yeah, good sport. I guess all we need to do now is figure out the fuel situation. Obviously we have our fuel line coming up here, and this whole thing down here to here is the fuel tank.
Oh. You can't answer that shit we talking about, bro. Hey,
Sounds
that's
empty.
a good point, though. Supposedly at some point in time, you got to worry about
fuel pump down there
like
on the
other
side of the
cartels
block.
and shit.
We have a little fuel filter here, so we'll know
You got to
if
think
the
we're up to
fuel
like
is a pumping. That
7
fuel filter does not
employees,
look like
8
it's ever seen
employees,
fuel, so
give or take. Oh my god, oh my
I
god.
doubt it has. I can't see down in the tank at all. It looks like the bung has some nice fresh screws in it, so hopefully the previous owner cleaned the tank out really
Tell
well.
your
We'll
friends
dump some fuel in
about
there.
us.
We'll crank it until we see some fuel at the filter.
Popping, ain't it? Ain't nobody ever in a casino, though. That's the only thing that bummed me out. Nobody else said it was a casino.
Alright, we got gas in the tank. Let's go ahead and crank it until we see some fuel come up into the filter here. Contact.
Huh. You motherfucker. Hold on, let's do it one more time.
There we go.
Dude.
Okay.
Dude.
Give it a little bit of choke.
Motherfucker.
Throttle control there.
One more time.
Transmission's
Ooh.
in neutral. Cable controls are in neutral.
Yeah, that's right. Give me my money.
Go ahead and try this thing.
Right.
Contact.
Ooh. Right. Give me my money.
One more time.
Fuck! Wow, right here, though. Watch, it's gonna be over. Man, fuck this hoe.
It's not perfect, but it's running.
What we doing? Go. Are you? Isn't it? In a bad mood. Ah, look at Philip. Dude. No. Yeah? Yeah. Could have been true. Did you check that shit out in the crock pot or in this spot? Boy, that shit's gonna knock your nipples off.
Alright, well, I think we have a little bit of fine tuning on our
Figure I could do a little better than this while I've been gone, you know, but whatever.
Control's working quite right.
Let's see, so
But
we
it
need to
runs.
make a
It sounds like it
delivery
runs
to
pretty
here.
good.
So
Once it has
that's
some
the
adjustments, I
barn.
think it'll run really well. Well, it runs. It needs a little bit of carb tweaking. Of course, I should have known. We should have probably just cracked it open from the get-go. But, you know, sometimes you do get lucky and you don't have to touch it. But let's go ahead and pop this thing apart. I think the float's just hanging up. I don't think it's very bad, but we'll go through it anyway. Well, I guess you should expect me to know better by now. But everything took way longer than I anticipated on this unit. I really didn't anticipate having this much headache trying to get everything functioning. As you can see, it does run, which is, of course, one of the major obstacles. So we do have that much going for us. But I'm going to have to end this video here because this is getting a lot longer and more in-depth than I ever planned. So in the next video, we're going to dive into these steering clutches. We're going to go through all those cylinders, I believe. We're going to go through the check valves, as I mentioned. We're going to make sure we're not leaking fluid all over the place. And hopefully, we can get this thing actually steering and get it stuck into the dirt. I was really hoping to have this thing working in this video, but just not in the cards at this moment. So if you guys are interested in the little Laterno scraper, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss the future videos on this unit. It's definitely a very unique unit. Very few videos of machines like this on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future stuff on this or any of the other projects we're working on. Also, if you would, do me a big favor, hit that thumbs up button down below the video. Really helps out the channel. Doesn't cost you guys but a second of your time. If you would like to help support the channel in a little more direct fashion, you can head on over to dieselcreek.com, pick yourself up some sweet swag over at the store. That's dieselcreek.com. Link, as always, is down in the description. So that's all I got for today. Until the next time, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. What's up, Roscoe? Good boy.
Why is Fritz so good?
Buttery, salty.
Don't tell anyone I like it.
Try Crest 3D White. Finally, a daily whitening toothpaste for whiter teeth in one day.
Worried about it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Diesel Creek. My name is Matt. So as most of my regular viewers will know, I am an auction junkie. I love to go out and scour for deals and more often than not end up coming home with a couple treasures. A few videos back we took another trip to the Ritchie Brothers auction, which isn't too far from me, and ended up coming home with this guy among a few other things. This is a 2016 Honda Pioneer side-by-side. This thing is four-wheel drive and it's not a diesel, but it is a pretty good little machine, provided we can get it functioning. I was able to get this thing for a song and a dance because it was listed as inoperable, which could mean absolutely anything. I have not touched this machine. We forked it onto the trailer out at the auction. I forked it off the trailer when we got it home here. And today's the day I'm finally gonna start messing with this thing. Now what was really interesting was after we got it on the trailer, I talked to the loader guy and he said, I'm pretty sure that thing runs. And I said, huh, really? Some of you guys will know from previous auction videos, there is no rhyme or reason, it seems, sometimes to what finds its way into the inoperable section of the auction. I have seen things that are completely grenaded and destroyed the engine and there's no prayer that it'll ever run again, and I've also seen things that you go back there and just turn the key and it fires right up. So hard to say what could really be wrong with this thing, but today we're going to find out. You guys know I do quite a bit of walking around at the auction and inspecting all sorts of things, but this thing wasn't even really on my radar. I expected it to go for quite a bit more than it did, so I didn't even really look at it at all at the auction. I tried the three side-by-sides that were next to it. I didn't even glance at this one. When it was going off in the auction, I was just kind of sitting there watching it and nobody was bidding it up any higher than what I got it for. So I just put in one bid and I ended up getting it. Or maybe it was two bids. Anyways, I got it for what I thought was pretty reasonable. But like I said, I really didn't even look at it until after I bought it. So yeah, it's got some rips in the seat there. You can see they've done some Gorilla Tape upholstery work, which actually seems like it's holding up pretty good. Another hole back here. Judging by the contents of the machine here and little stuff like all the yellow rope, there's some other stuff I saw out at the auction when I first looked at this thing. It led me to believe that this was probably on a pipeline job somewhere, used by some sort of an environmental crew that goes out into the remote locations and makes sure that there's no silt running off right-of-way or dirt getting into waterways, that kind of thing. So they usually give those crews a buggy and they go out and take care of things like that. Oh, here was one of the other ones. Telltale sign of a environmental crew at work. These are staples that hold down Curlex rolls on hillsides, and apparently the bolts vibrated out of the headrests and they just wired them back on there with some sawed staples. In the bed here, it has a complete skid plate which is off of it for an unknown reason, so that's a, you know, maybe a clue to something that could be wrong with this machine. This plastic bag appears to be full of all the fasteners and washers and miscellaneous items that go to the skid plate, so it was nice of them to at least bag that stuff up instead of just chucking it. Tires are in pretty decent shape. It has A-arm guards as well, which are nice. I think I already mentioned this is a 1000cc machine, so it should have a bit of power. Chainsaw files. Oh, here were the things that convinced me it was an environmental crew. Not these. Bunch of staples, which staples are a staple of an environmental crew. The wood screws could be something for an environmental crew as well, but there's other things in here that don't make sense. This goofy little tool here, which I don't know, this could be a factory Honda tool, I really don't know. Let's see. A couple other random little tools. Got a Takeuchi TL10 V2 manual. And some Cummins parts. Probably way too new for anything that I need, but we have them nonetheless. Now, of course, when we went and picked it up, I did attempt to start it, but you turn the key and nothing happens. Now, the only thing I have done to this machine since I brought it home that I didn't show you guys was I did take the battery out, take it home and charge it, and I brought it back. Oh, look at that. Looks like some mice have been coordinating against me here. Starting to build a nest, maybe. Jerks. Ew, there's like fleas all in here. I need to do something about that. Don't need to be bringing a scourge of little fleas onto the farm. So this is the battery that came in the buggy, and I don't know if you can tell, it fits in there, but I don't believe it's the right size. I did take this battery home and charge it, and you know, it held a charge, but all it would do was light up the dash. It wouldn't, when you hit the start, nothing would happen. So it wasn't even trying to click the solenoid or the starter or anything, so I think the battery was probably just really low. So I did end up picking up the proper size battery, and we're gonna go ahead and put it in here today and see if we can't get this thing to do something for us. I find these battery terminal setups on these Power Sport batteries to be quite a pain. They have a nut that just rides freely inside of the terminal there, and it can fall out. And then you gotta put a Phillips in like this, and hopefully you catch the nut and pull it up tight. That actually wasn't too bad, but sometimes they can be a real treat. Oh, and tell me we're missing one. No! Managed to find the last nut there. We need it. All right. Our battery is officially installed, at least good enough for us to hit the key and see what happens here. Yeah, we'll worry about getting that hold down bolt in there in a little bit. Another thing to factor into our assessment here, and I don't know what to make of it, is this cord of half-used cheapo 10W30. Hopefully this thing doesn't burn oil or something. But we can't rule it out right now since they have a cord in here. While we're under here, I guess we should check the coolant too. Oh, look at that. Full right to the top. That's what I like to see.
Telling you, bro.
Life is expensive.
Good point.
Tools don't have to be. That's why over 75 million customers have made Harbor Freight America's #1 tool store. With more than 1,500 locations nationwide, Harbor Freight offers the widest selection of tools at values that can't be beat. Don't take our word for it. Come see for yourself at a Harbor Freight store near you.
Should have went earlier.
So
I had a
whatever you
customer
do,
in this
do it
lake
for
right here,
less
or
at
whatever
Harbor
that is.
Freight.
I want to go see this too. Highland Manor.
My moderate to severe plaque psoriasis held me back, but now with Skyrizi, I'm all in. Thanks to Skyrizi, I saw dramatically clearer skin, and many even achieved 100% clear skin.
Don't use if allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
With Skyrizi, nothing on my skin means everything. Ask your dermatologist about Skyrizi today.
All right, with the new battery installed, we should have some juice when we turn the key at least. Uh-huh. I hear the fuel pump running. So the very first thing that's weird here is you can see the gear shift is in park, but the gear selector doesn't say anything. I have a buddy that has one of these things, and pretty sure his always reads the gear there. Oh, there's reverse, but not where it's supposed to be. Neutral, but not where it's supposed to be. High, which is now in the reverse position. And then finally low, which is in the high position. So something seems out of whack there. Maybe that's why it was in the inoperable section. Maybe something's screwed up in the transmission here. Now, I'm just gonna bump the key and see if the engine turns over at least. Oh yeah. Yeah, the engine spins. Ruh-roh. And now, after the engine spun a couple times, it says we're in reverse, but we're actually showing on the physical shifter that we're in park. Hey, what is going on here? Before we get too carried away here, we should check the oil in this thing too. We already confirmed that we have antifreeze. I'm not even 100% positive how you get to the engine. I think it's under the dump bed here. Ah, yep. Well, that's interesting. Looks like there's a bunch of oil on the side of the engine here. That's not a good sign. There we go, there's a dipstick. Ah, look at that, we got clean, fresh oil. A little over full. All right, well, I suppose it's safe to try to actually start the thing then. Now, I've gotten lucky buying the inoperable items at the auction before, but if this thing just starts up, that's next level lucky. So here we go. Contact. It just fired right up. I'm not touching the gas. It is kind of throttling a little funny. What just happened? It just shut off on its own. Why would it do that? So I guess I'm going to attempt to restart this thing, but I'm going to try to find neutral so we're not in a gear. All right. I can feel the transmission actually shifting there, so we're between reverse and neutral right there. But we're just not lined up on the shift pattern over here. So we got this thing's telling me we're neutral, that thing's telling me we're in neutral, and just by feeling the clicks, it feels like we're in neutral. So let's see what happens. Will it start without my foot on the brake? It starts, it runs. Let's see if it's gonna stay running this time. Oh, it is showing that we're like out of fuel. Yeah, they usually need fuel to stay running. And we have an oil pressure light. That doesn't seem good. Uh-oh. Well, we know it has oil. We saw that. But if it has oil pressure or not, we cannot be sure.
Yeah, you can buy the gross stuff shit already on here
I wonder
too.
if there's an actual port on the engine where we can plumb in a manual gauge and see if we have oil pressure. Seems like it runs pretty nice. You don't hear anything knocking or ticking. You know, if we didn't have oil pressure, I would expect that you'd hear lifter tick or something, because I would imagine this thing probably has hydraulic lifters. All right. Before we get too carried away here and let this thing run too long, I'm going to do some Googling and see if I can find anything about these Hondas having common oil pressure issues, or if oil pumps go out of these things, or if there's a place we could put a manual gauge and confirm for sure that we have oil pressure. Because the last thing I want to do is take a running buggy and make it a non-running buggy just because we don't have oil pressure. Well, after doing a little bit of due diligence here and some Google searching, I've come across some other people with the oil light issue, and it seems like it's one of those ghost kind of things. But not only could it be the oil light, it could be something to do with the transmission in this thing. Now, this does not have a CVT type transmission. This has a DCT, or dual clutch transmission, which is supposed to be quite a bit more advanced than the CVTs, so there are no belts. It's an actual gear-driven transmission with some clutches going on in there. And I guess they can be kind of finicky, and they can throw codes that relate to that oil light we're seeing. So we know we have shifter problems here. Things aren't working how they're quite exactly
I probably won't be on too much longer, bro.
So perhaps that has something to do with our
We'll
oil
see,
light.
though.
Now, also in some of the research that I just did, it was saying that, also based on some of the research I was just doing, the people that were on some forums talking about their oil light were saying that after it would sit for a little bit, sometimes they'd restart it and that light would go away. So let's restart it and see if it went away.
Back. Jar's back.
Well, we got good and bad news here. Something is not right in this shifter. I thought I had it neutral when we started it. It jumped into reverse. There we go. We're showing neutral now. All right. Still have an oil light. I'm not sure what this is about. There's a plethora of things that this oil light could be or could be triggering the oil light, but from what I read, loss of oil pressure really didn't seem to be one of the things most people even considered. So I guess let's try to shift this thing into a gear and see if it's actually going to try to move. Did you guys see that? I had my foot on the brake, and as soon as I tried to drop it down into whatever high, it stalled right out. I should be able to restart it with the brake. Methinks that there's definitely some problems here, but at least this thing runs. We're gonna see if we can't make this thing try to move somehow or another. I'm gonna play around here. So we're showing high range right now. Let's try to find low range. There's neutral. Foot on the brake. Yeah, as soon as you bring it down out of neutral towards high, it just stalls the engine. There. Showing we're in low now. Very interesting. It's not wanting to run. Not wanting to start in low range for some reason. Oh, there we go. It moves. I didn't hear any terrible grinding noises, so that should be good news for the transmission, maybe? Maybe it's just something goofy going on here with this shifter, or I don't know. I really don't know anything about these dual clutch transmissions, so we're gonna have to do a bit of research here.
Come on,
but
what we got, Cannon?
We saw that it moved. Let's see if I can't get this thing to drive a little bit, and ideally drive it right into the shop. That would be great.
See this ferry cannon?
Still in low. As soon as I had to hit the brake over here,
Oh shit!
it stalled out
So
again.
under West Bridge, and then.
Well, we didn't make it too far. As soon as I had to hit the brakes over here to try to navigate the turn, it stalled out. So we know it'll go forward in low range. Let's see if we can find reverse. There we go, it's in reverse. I'll start it with the foot on the brake and see if it'll actually do reverse.
Benji, my boy, what up, dude? Those 5.
That's a good sign. Foot on the brake. Let's see if we can shift down into. Oh, I didn't even touch anything. I was going to try to shift to drive, and it stalled before I could even get there. All right, we should be in high. Let's see if it'll go anywhere in high.
Yeah, Cam's game's fun, bro. I wish you could play it with me, dude.
So it kind of seems like it
Houdini.
wants to stall out every time you let off the gas entirely and it idles for a second. I'm wondering if the clutch is disengaging at low throttle like it's supposed to. I'm done playing
Ooh,
around.
no
Get this
boy.
thing
On
moving.
it, son.
Just drive it straight into the shop here and not let off the
Yes,
gas.
sir. But you're paying more than that for it.
See, it's like
Damn right.
once the engine's running, it doesn't want to shift either.
Western
like I'm pulling way
Wharf,
harder than I should have to make it change directions. Yeah, as soon as it goes into a different speed, it shuts off. I don't think it's disengaging the transmission like it's supposed to.
What does a good investment opportunity look like? At T. Rowe Price, we let curiosity light the way, asking smart questions about opportunities like AI and how the industry's born to support AI might better support us all. Better questions, better outcomes.
Your business is the result of years of hard work. That's why Bobcat equipment is more than a machine. It's an earth-moving, ground-sweeping, get-the-job-done MVP. Let's build the world you want to live in. Bobcat, one tough animal.
I'm on the way.
What, did we completely run out of gas now? Probably, that's my luck. All right, we're going. Just in time, it started to rain. Look at that, we made it into the shop.
See it, Meg. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Years it dies.
What's up, homie? You want some too?
What is going on here?
You want in on this? Oh shit.
So this is weird now.
One over here,
After I
bro.
pulled it into
One
the
over
shop here, I started playing around on my phone looking for more information on this thing. And I started it back up to do something here, and now you got nothing. Like, you can hear, I don't know if you guys could hear, but I could hear the transmission just kick into reverse now, and it's showing it in that display, but it should say it right there too, and it's not. And we have no directional movement. So there we go, we should be in high right now. It shows AT right there, which I guess is automatic transmission. We should go forward, but we don't. Now you had to hear that growl. Now we should be in low. Still no movement. And our oil light's still on. There was one of these times I started it off camera here that the oil light did not come on, so I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll let this sit a minute and restart. I don't know what to say about this thing currently. I mean, it does seem to run good, so yeah, hopefully I can figure out this transmission because this is not a simple transmission.
What I'm talking about.
All right, well, here we are
Delivery
just a few
bonus,
days later.
everything.
Months later.
Fill all that.
Okay, almost a year later.
Yes, sir.
To working.
Yes, sir. My boy
There
geeking.
has been some changes.
My boy tweaking.
Even though I haven't
He's
touched
tweaking.
this thing. It's been sitting over in the shipping container shop for the last, I don't know, going on 10 months, I think. And I've done absolutely nothing to it. It's just been sitting there. But when I went to bring it over here, I thought I was going to have to pull it, or maybe I'd get lucky and it would drive itself at least most of the way over here, like we were able to drive it most of the way into the shipping container shop. Before, as soon as the thing would get hot, it would shut off. Now, again, I've done nothing to it, so no reason to believe it would magically fix itself. But it would seem that it has. Kinda.
Jesse, what's
I
up?
don't recall. I'm actually have to go back and watch the footage. I don't remember if we had this problem before, but now it seems to start and run just fine, but it will not shift out of second gear. So it just redlines right into second gear. Maybe it'll drop into first gear when you let off the throttle, but it seems to be just kind of hesitating and staying right in second gear. So I don't know exactly what's wrong with this thing, but I'm really determined to get this thing working now because it's beautiful, and this would be really handy to have here for running back and forth around on the property. Not to mention, I like to go out and ride with my buddies a little bit, and the wife will actually ride in this thing versus on the back of the quad. She really doesn't have any interest. So
She don't ever want to buy
let's get this thing fixed today. I think today we're going to start by doing a complete service on this unit. I think I showed you guys before the transmission fluid is really milky, and there's an oil light on the dash. I don't know why it has oil. As long as I've run it now, I would say it has oil pressure, or I would have locked up the engine. Yeah, let's just start draining fluids and see what happens. So I would show you guys and demonstrate how it's running good but not shifting, but I didn't really want to get the thing hot because I have to work on it. So let me strip off
toes, Beth,
so we can actually see the engine and transmission here.
Yes, sir.
And I will run it long enough just to get it a little warm to drain the oils.
Because they just got served with my other stuff that makes their eyes close cannon. I mean, whatever dealer I have that has some of my other stuff.
Man, what an absolute disaster we have
Oh
going
man,
on
you're down
here.
to that, bro.
This thing
Damn,
is
cuz,
covered
hold on.
in thick oil.
You go ahead,
and
man.
when I bought this machine, I think still right now, there's a quart of oil tucked up underneath the hood there. Like whoever was running this machine had to keep adding oil to it. And just sitting in the shop overnight here, there's a few drips on the ground. So this thing is definitely losing oil. Thinking maybe we ought to pressure wash this thing off good first before we even start trying to dive into this thing.
Yeah, being served by one of my other dealers.
Looks like it might be leaking right there around the filters. Maybe they reinstalled an O-ring improperly or something. Also, this wiring harness down here, if you can tell, the coating on the wiring harness is broken and brittle and falling apart, really. I don't know if the oil is causing that to deteriorate or what. Same thing up here. Oh, you know what? Right there, we got some wires wrong. A simple broken wire could definitely be causing our issue, so we're going to have to look really thoroughly through everything and see if we find anything damaged. I made up my mind. This thing's going to get pressure washed off before we really start getting into it.
15.
Hopefully it starts up today.
Place order.
Look at that.
15.
See? Yeah, no. Still not running quite right. I did downshift now.
Place order. So I'll give them everything they need. Okay, that's the high quality, okay. What are we waiting on, bro? Oh, y'all got fun.
I'm not sure how well you guys can hear that, but it wasn't real happy there for a while. It kind of smoothed out after I gave it a little bit of gas. Let it run at a high idle for a minute there.
Oh, you're probably.
I wouldn't say that it's still running great, but it's running.
Y'all about to have it.
Let's drive it outside, soak this thing down with some degreaser, and clean it off.
Get your ass to work, son. Hey, I'm playing in here. Yuck. Take M2, M5. Take 15.
Could be coolant we got leaking too, because I can smell coolant right now.
Yeah, can't have. Yeah. Brad. Can't shoot some too. Fuck. Come on away, girl. Mega! Body searching shit, bitch. You can body search my dick. Ooh, it's all right into that tree.
Okay, so according to the blinking code on the dash, we have
Well,
a
let me shut my door.
24 code, which is a shift control motor drive circuit malfunction. It says it could be a loose or poor contact of the shift control motor connector, the control motor or its circuit malfunction, or a faulty drive circuit in the PCM. Yeah, basically I'm just going to start pulling connections apart and checking them. I'm going to start over at the PCM itself.
Hurry up.
I was reading around online at the forums, and there was a couple people that said that they took theirs apart and there was bent over pins in the connectors, and that was causing their whole issue. Now, the only way that could happen, I would think, is if somebody was in there playing with it. So, this being an auction machine, they definitely can't rule that out. So that one, that's got big spade connectors, so that's not it. Probably one of these ones with a lot more wires going into it. Ooh, yeah, look at all the dirt that was packed down around there. I would think that's supposed to be a weather pack. I don't think you're supposed to be able to get anything in there. I'm gonna hit that with some air. Betting that one's gonna be about the same. Yeah, definitely the same.
What up, Jake?
This thing's been under roof since I've owned it for like a year now.
Yeah.
So
I was sitting there playing a video game.
Natural moisture in here, so this has to be from us washing it yesterday. Definitely doesn't seem good. All right, we got that thing reconnected. I'm just gonna start pulling all these other connectors, checking them out, seeing if we got a corroded connection or anything. I'll let you know if I find anything. All right, well, I'm in a little bit over my head here, out of my element, if you will, so it's a little harder for me to document things as I'm going here because I'm just kind of shooting into the wind. So, as you guys saw, I was pulling connections apart. I checked every single electrical connector that I could find, and they all looked good. Nothing was corroded, no pins bent or anything like that. So after I connected all the electrical connectors back together, I was playing around back here, and I'm pretty darn sure that this is the actual shift motor. So the computer tells this thing when to change gears, and you can manually do it with a wrench right here on this guy. So move that guy back and forth. And I got it where I want it right now, so I don't want to change it, but you got some throw on the wrench. But anyway, so I manually shifted it through some gears, and I had it up into 6th gear, and it was driving and sitting here with the wheels spinning. And I got it all the way back into neutral, and it's almost acting like it's working now. So if we start it up now, we're reading in neutral where we should be. Foot on the brake, I'm gonna shift it into high. Oh, maybe we're back to not working. Just before I turned the camera on, it was reading out high range, and then you could step on the gas and it would go. We're back to not working correctly. That just clicked it in a second. So I go back the other way and it should be first, but I can't seem to pick up first. I don't know if you guys can see, but on the dashboard right now, we just got that blinking
shift selector, like it's not reading out a gear.
When your business is on the path to AI, Dell AI Factory with NVIDIA can quickly implement the AI you need, help keep your data secure, and give you the flexibility to keep moving forward.
Lean Cuisine. You could lose up to 18 pounds in 12 weeks with ridiculously tasty meals always under 400 calories. Flavorful, not calorie-full meals. Lean Cuisine.
While I'm studying a manual, I figure we could at least get some fluids draining. Let's get this thing draining. All right, hopefully you guys can see, it looks like we have 3 drain plugs down here. We got 1, which I believe is the transmission, 2, and that is the engine, 3rd one right here, and I'm not positive what that one is. No. Don't strip the drain plug. Good gravy, this thing's on here. Oh! We need another wrench. No! Well, the wrench just spun on the head of that plug, so we gotta get something with 6 points on it. There we go. That was way too hard. There we go. There's 2 out of 3. Gotta get this guy here yet. All right, let's see what's behind door number 1 here. Well, that oil looks nice and clear. Behind door number 2, more nice clear oil. I've saved the best for last because I'm pretty sure behind door number 3 is some milky, nasty transmission fluid. I knew that was coming. What's behind door number 3 here? I'm hoping that it's not like a lot of milk. Oh, it's a lot of milk. You guys seeing that? That ain't good. Oil. Oil's not supposed to look like that. Okay, well, I think we're actually getting somewhere here. I studied the manual for a little while, and I figured out the troubleshooting code from the dash there, that flashing code that we had just looked at. That's a 24 code, so I'm going through the testing procedures according to the manual, and thank God I have a manual for this thing because there is way too many electronic doodads on this thing for my liking. But yeah, so basically what we have to do here is we have to check and see if we have voltage between this pin on the PCM connector, and then if we have voltage there, we got to check and make sure we have continuity across these other 3 pins in this plug. So we'll go ahead and turn the key on and see what we got. Alright, so we have 12.45 volts right there. I think that sounds perfect. Switch this over to continuity. Got continuity there. Alright, so we got voltage here. We have continuity to the ground here. Now we need to check and see, make sure we have continuity between these 2 terminals and the corresponding 2 terminals on the shift control motor. So you guys won't be able to see me on the other end, but I'm going to stab this guy in here and then go touch it to the terminal back there, and if the meter beeps, we're good. That's one side. Alright, so that just ruled out any wiring issues. So I believe the next step now is to take off that shift control motor and bench test it. Oh, I might actually have to get out a ratchet. Oh, that's disappointing. I think that's all the bolts. Oh yeah, here she comes. Alrighty, let's go give this thing a bench test. Okay, according to the manual,
all we have to do to test this motor and make sure it's functional is apply 12 volts to the contacts inside here, and if the thing spins one direction, we have to switch the terminals and make sure it spins backwards, and if it does, then this thing passes, and I believe then it's a PCM issue. Contact. Alright, what spins that direction? Alright, well I believe that means this motor passes. It seems to be spinning just fine. It doesn't sound like it's got any problems going on inside of it, so let's go back to the manual here. Well, there we go. That's the oil filter cover. Old oil filter. No visible crud in it. Well, that's good. Also another filter directly below that one that I believe is the transmission filter. And this would be where we would find any signs of transmission damage, I would think. Hopefully we don't find anything like that. Well, that's good, I don't see anything. No chunks of metal or clutch material, anything like that, so should be pretty good there. Alright, so I picked up one of these complete service kits for this thing with all the OEM Honda oils and everything. I found this on eBay. Somebody sells them complete, ready to go. Comes with the washers for your drain plugs. Comes with your new filters for your transmission and your engine oil. Comes with the O-rings to seal up the caps and all your oils, so pretty handy. Let's get this stuff dumped in there. It's always good when you find the smoking gun too. Remember we had an oil leak? Well, I knew it was coming from this cover, and you can clearly see why. They pinched the O-ring when they reinstalled it, and she was leaking. Alright, well, we got some oil. Coat that O-ring up with some oil, and hopefully we don't pinch it when we reinstall it. Got to pay attention on these filters too. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but they are labeled this side out. So that should face the cover. There's a spring that retains it and keeps it stuck tight. So yeah.
Hey, it's Grant, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that tangy smokehouse barbecue sauce paired perfectly with that original filet. And that brown sugar bacon, man, I'm getting hungry.
Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Gonna try to do this without pinching the O-ring. It says it holds 6 quarts after you do an oil and a filter change, so I don't know. That seems like a lot for an engine this size. It must have a pretty big oil cooler set up on it. Alright, well the transmission here, as you guys saw, was full of lovely milky fluid. There's still a little bit clinging on the dipstick, but I assure you she has been drained thoroughly. I even let it actually sit here with the plug out overnight so it could drip out all it was going to drip out. We're just going to go ahead and put the oil to it. I don't see any signs of damage in the oil that came out of it other than the water. There was no metal chunks or anything like that that I could see. I can't say for sure how the water got in there. The O-ring on top of the fill plug looks fine. The only thing I can see is the input shaft here. This is more like a transfer case, I guess it is. I think they're calling this the primary side of the transmission, and the other half of the transmission back there is the secondary side. Anyway, you got your output shaft seal there. I can see some oil residue around it, so maybe it's leaking a little bit of oil out, and if it's leaking oil out, it could let moisture in. So we're just gonna have to run it for now, see what the dealio is. I think this calls for 1.7 quarts. We'll put 1.5 in and give her a good looking after. Anyways, I don't recall what the service interval is supposed to be for this transmission, but we're probably just gonna go for like one ride on it after we get it fixed, of course. We'll probably just get one ride on it and then bring it back and change the oil in the transmission again since it was milky, and we'll have a look again and see, A, if the new oil is milky, maybe there's some way that coolant's getting into it. B, if it's not milky, it's just good so that we're flushing out any remaining moisture with another fresh oil change. There we go, we're a little over right now, and that's fine because once we fire it up, it should sucker down. So we've completed a service on it. Now we're going to check that code out and do some troubleshooting on that. Alright, well, we have the shifter motor reinstalled over there. According to the manual, now that we've troubleshooted everything, what we're supposed to do is try it again and see if we get that code again, and if we do, then it's probably a PCM issue. So here we go, first start after the service as well, so may or may not see the oil light come on. I'm hoping we don't, but we'll see. Contact. Well, helps if you put it neutral, I guess. Got to investigate the cause of that. I doubt it's an oil pressure issue because, as I said, I've run it enough to where I doubt that would. If it was an oil pressure issue, it would have already made itself very well known. I don't see any leaks on our filters, so that's good. Alright, we've been idling nicely now for a few minutes. Got the thermostat opened up. Let's see if this thing's going to stall when I put it in reverse like it usually does. Yep. Something is not right here. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1. So 62 code. I think the shift angle sensor or something is messed up because it wasn't.
So.
The lights on the dash don't correspond correctly with the stuff down here. Now, when I first got this thing, I just thought that the shifter was misaligned, and I readjusted the shifter on the shift fork.
10-4. Yeah, just remind me ahead of time, bro, because I don't give a damn. I'll run the loader myself. Shit.
You know what I mean? Like, so every time you play with this thing,
you already know.
This stuff hits in a different position.
10-4.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2.
No, I should still be able to get you. If anything, I'll tell Joey that you're gonna be getting in there by 8 o'clock if he asks.
It's not stalling out.
So.
Brakes aren't.
Hey, you may be real with your dog. You may be real with you. You know what's been.
So there's a reason it's doing that. I don't know if it's something to do with the oil light or what.
Exactly, but you know what's.
See, and it won't even try to run in gear today. But see,
there you go.
Before I brought it in the shop,
there you go. And you know, and I can't even lie. You know,
it wouldn't shift, but it wouldn't stall either. Am I smart enough to figure out the electrical stuff on this thing? I'm having my doubts right now.
Hey, most of the time he don't even ask, bro. So far he hasn't asked anything about where anybody's at other than Chanel. I ain't even gonna lie, Chanel's been keeping him off our ass because he likes the way Chanel looks. So, but of course keep that between us.
They're kind of all leading back to
so.
The PCM. But I did do
well, yeah, I mean, he fits right in, so I guess that's why I get along with him so good. Well, you gotta think, bro. Been married to the same woman for 37 years.
And since I did that,
and then all of a sudden you see that walking around your job site. It's like, I mean, it's a little better than looking at us, I guess.
We're gonna try to take it for a little ride and see if it shifts. Not
yeah,
but it's worth a shot.
Yeah, there you go. There, hey, no, I need the next person to go get a raise is gonna be little Jose.
So let's give her a go.
Yeah,
yeah. On, and I'm looking through
bruh. If I'd have knew he was as good as he was, bro, I would have started him off for $1 less than 20. Yeah. Oh, I know you, bro. I am close to some black people, and they don't stick their neck out for their own fucking family. Exactly. So yeah, the next one I'm gonna put in for whenever, because he should be almost getting close to his 1 year. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna try to give him at least two. At least two. I'm gonna try to get him 2 or 3. So, because I mean, you ain't gotta ask him to work. You ain't gotta ask him to do the shit right. You ain't gotta ask nothing, bro. You just say, Jose, this is what I need, and he says, I got you. So.
We're Coulter and Trent, brothers and co-founders of Sunday, and we believe that lawn care should be easy, safe, and effective. Eco-friendly products have helped over 1 million customers, and now we're bringing them to lawn care businesses. With competitively priced, easy-to-use products, we offer everything from liquid fertilizer to weed control, all designed for any region or season, and trusted by people across the country. Zero harsh chemicals, safer for your crew, your clients, and the environment. Join the Sunday Pro Supply program today.
Was she? Oh shit! Trying to get her some unk, bro.
Still seems like it's not shifting.
Bitches, because you ain't drinking no Jameson. Shut up. Yeah. hey, that's when you got to pull they're not all 10s, buddy. They're.
All right. So as soon as we got up to where this thing should have shifted, it started throwing another code.
All right, hit me back up, bro. All right, see you, man.
That's a code 14. I think that's the first time we've had that. And see, all these random sporadic codes are another thing that makes me think it may be a PCM issue, because if the brain box ain't braining, well, that could be screwing up everything. Got parts. I ordered a Honda computer for this thing. They call it a PGM FI unit. So I ordered it, and when I ordered it, it said that it was going to be back ordered and take a few weeks to get here. So I said, well, rather than just letting this thing sit here in the shop and hog up space, I'll go ahead and fire it up and drive it outside. Since it's still drivable, it just won't shift. I got right out there about where the Humvee's sitting, and it died on me. And then it did something that it hasn't done before. It threw a different code. This time it threw a 62 code, and I looked that up. And there's some different diagnostics to go along with that. But we already had the computer in the works, and it's here in my hand, so might as well go ahead and throw it on there and see what the deal is. But of course, it would throw a different code after I already commit to ordering a $260 part. All right, there's our new part. Swap them out. Plug and play. All right, moment of truth here. Man, I really hope this is our problem. I've got this bad feeling that it's not. Contact.
Hear me now, Cannon.
That seems to have done absolutely nothing. I'm kind of doing something unexpected here, something that I've never done before on the channel, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for it, but realistically, trying to fix this thing is kind of over my head. There's so many wires and computer systems and electronics.
Oh my God.
I feel like a fish out of water.
Bruh. Oh, that's some extension. Stupid.
And
if I had nothing else to focus on, I could probably spend some real time on this thing and figure it out. But as you guys know, I have about 30,000 projects, and this one kind of seems to find itself down pretty low on the list. And it's been sitting here for over 2 years now, and I have not got it any further than when it came home. So we're loading it up, we're taking it to the Honda dealer, let them worry about it. I pushed this thing outside here, probably 2 months ago now, to make a little bit more room in the shop. So I have no idea if it's even going to start, but I hope so. Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be something dumb. It doesn't even want to go now. I'm starting to think that there was a clutch pack out of it, because that would kind of make sense. Yeah, why we no go? That's interesting. It's cold out here, and it seems to have made the clutches worse, perhaps. My vote is clutch pack, and if that's the case, I could have fixed that, but at this point, like I said, I'm out of time and patience to troubleshoot it. Let's see if this thing will get up on the trailer. Got it going. Yeah, something long there. I had to kind of warm it up a little bit before it wanted to go.
Meow.
That's interesting.
Meow.
It's not engaging in park all the way. That's nice. Lovely.
What are you doing in here, bitch? Oh.
I dropped this
Well.
off at the Honda dealership in February. It is now September. I'm not gonna sit here and throw shade at the dealership. Definitely shouldn't have taken that long, but it is what it is. Not only did it take that long, it cost $3,400. There wasn't a lot of parts involved, but there was also a fair bit of labor, and we'll get into all that in a minute. But right now, let's get this thing unloaded and make sure it actually works. I drove around the parking lot a little bit before I paid for it, and it seemed to work, but I couldn't really get on it or anything in the parking lot, so let's see what happens. Already smells like antifreeze, but I'm figuring maybe they just spilled some when they were refilling everything.
Your ass. Go. Go. No. Fuck in there.
Well, that's already light years ahead of what we had. You can shift through the gears without it jamming up and stalling. So as you can see, or at least hopefully can see on the screen there,
My bad.
we actually have a P for park now. There's no codes flashing or anything on the screen. You can see they were into the engine a few times here. I believe they had the entire engine removed from the buggy several times. I think this whole piece of case here is a new piece. They had to replace that for some reason. I think the oil ports were scored up or something like that. It's always a good idea to go over something like this. Putting a new set of eyes on something can sometimes make you notice things that the mechanic missed, which when you work on something like this, you're bound to miss something. A loose bolt, a wire that's not clipped in right, gonna get torn off or something. So it looks like they did end up changing the shift motor, even though they told me that was not the problem, and they didn't charge me for it either.
That's right, big man.
The original mechanic that diagnosed this thing when I first took it down to the Honda dealership tried to tell me that the shift angle sensor and that shift motor were both bad, and I said, no, I bench tested those, they're fine, and you guys saw that in the video, and he said, well, that's what it says, it's wrong with it. So I said, well, you know what, if that's going to fix it, go ahead and do it. That's a cheap, easy fix. And then it sat there for months and months, and I never heard anything. Finally, I started making phone calls, and there was a new mechanic in charge, and he went over the diagnostic stuff with me and said, yeah, I don't think that's the problem. I said, I don't think so either. And
no, how the fuck?
He did his own
I'm trying to run. No! Took all my drugs.
Clutches that were burned up, and there was an oil pump failing.
Man.
Oil light on the dash. But nowhere in the service book does it actually tell you what the oil pressures are supposed to be. So he actually had to do the diagnostic work, collect all the data, and then send it to Honda for them to review the data.
Trying to
and
run.
Respond back to him saying what was good and what was bad. I think that's a ridiculous way to do business, but that is the way that Honda does it. That's not just the dealership or anything.
They can't buy anything better than this.
Hold on, got a phone call.
Look at that, actually goes into reverse, doesn't stall the engine.
Yo.
Ooh, it's jumpy. About spins the tires every time you touch the throttle. Oh, buddy, this thing's got some snort. Alright, so we brought the old Pioneer into the shop here. I keep smelling antifreeze, and I'm sure they spilled it everywhere, disassembling the engine multiple times. So hopefully it's just burning off, but I want to check everything, make sure all the levels are still good, make sure I don't see any visible leaks anywhere. It's been sitting in the shop overnight. I don't see any drips or puddles on the ground. So it can't be too awful bad if it is burning it, unless it's internally burning it, and it's coming out the exhaust, and that's what I'm smelling. You know, then we could have a bad gasket or something letting it get into the combustion chamber. So I'm gonna grab the forklift, lift this thing up, and while I have it up in the air, I'm also gonna investigate whatever's making that clunkin' thunkin' noise back here. I think it's the CV joint on this side, but I could be wrong. So let's get it up in the air and find out. Believe it or not, I actually did something with a bit of forethought here, which is unusual for myself. I sent this thing down without the plastics to cover up the engine here, because I knew when they were done working on it, they would have reinstalled the plastic covers that go over the engine, and I wouldn't be able to see any of what was done or not done, or if there was any leaks or anything. So I held on to those when I took this to the dealership to get worked on, and now it's making it a little bit easier for an inspection. This connection right here seems to have some coolant around it. It's not bad, it's just wet. I don't know if that could be causing our coolant smell or not. I did check the radiator, it is down a little bit. You know, is it burning it, or did they just have a bubble and it burped after they gave it back to me, and now it's actually full and I can top it off and be okay, or what? I feel way more comfortable with this than I probably should. Well, it sure beats laying on your back trying to install a skid plate upside down. I'm trying to see if I can hear that thunking noise coming out of whatever joint this is. I'm not immediately seeing it though. This one's leaking, like the boot's torn. So, could be this side. I feel like it sounded like it was this side. As for the antifreeze situation, I looked all over. I can't see any obvious leaks, and I checked the oil. Oil looks good. There's no antifreeze mixing in with the oil. We're just a little bit low on antifreeze, so I'm gonna top it off and keep a close eye on it for a while. And hopefully the smell that I'm smelling is just, like I said, the antifreeze from them working on it. You know, you're cracking the case open or whatever, you're bound to be smelling antifreeze. So hopefully I'm just smelling the residual burning off as we heat cycle the engine now. That's all I can say about it. So let's grab that skid plate, throw it back on here. I'm going to take this thing for an actual honest ride. This stinking skid plate was one of the very first things that got brought into this shop. Been hogging up real estate over there by the grinder for quite a while. I'll be glad to get it out of my road.
It's big, chewy, and chocolatey. Big like over 3 times bigger. And it comes in 3 delicious flavors.
New Chips Ahoy, Big Chewy.
We still have something wrong in the rear end there, like a CV joint or something. We'll do a nice drive. We're gonna do a nice mellow driveway run, get this thing up to speed, warmed up to temperature and everything. And then we'll see how fast we can get it going on the driveway. So the crane boom there is the finish line, and the end of the driveway behind us is the starting point. Yep, not bad, not bad. Almost got away from me a little bit there. I think we got a low tire. Yeah, the front left tire seems a little low. We gotta put some air in that before we try doing any kind of speed test. All right, so we're gonna do a speed run here on the driveway, starting here even with this tree, and then the tip of the Grove crane at the end of the driveway is the finish line. We're gonna see how fast we can get this thing up to. To make it just a little bit more sketchy, I have to hold the camera as there's no good flat metal surface here for me to stick my camera to. So, here we go. Wishy-washy on the gravel, but I had it up to like 53 there, I think, and I definitely could have kept pushing. With 2 hands, I would feel a lot better about it. I gotta figure out a way to mount this camera.
Gonna come with me. I gotta go wash a couple plates real quick. Get out of here. But I can still hear y'all.
Sure what that clicking is going on in the rear end. I don't think it's a CV. It might be something in the differential. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sound great, but I think I'm just going to pretend that I didn't notice that. And if you redline this thing loud enough, you don't even hear it. So it's not even that much of a problem. In all seriousness,
we're gonna have to look into it, I guess. But it's been my experience rebuilding rear ends on like utility quads and stuff that it's probably already, if it's making that noise, it's probably already no bueno. So well, guys, I am a big fan of the Honda Pioneer. I was, expected to like it, but I really underestimated just how much fun I was going to have with this thing. It is a powerhouse compared to any other side-by-sides I've ever run. It might not be a turbo razor or something like that, but that's not what this thing's designed for anyway. So for what this thing is designed to do, which is work and have a little bit of fun on the side, it's awesome. I've run this thing around now for, it's actually been a couple weeks. And collectively maybe put 4 or 5 hours on it.
I love my natural hair, but not what hoodies were doing to it, so I made my own. Chasing Philly helps my business grow, one hoodie at a time.
Get financial guidance from bankers in your community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours.
I don't see anything obviously wrong with this differential. It's definitely making noise. I see this one CV boot is leaking a little bit, but it's not bad. I did drain the oil out of that and change the oil. I don't remember if I filmed it or not. This whole escapade has been dragging on for years now. But I did drain it, and I did change the oil in there, and it didn't look bad when I did. I have noticed that it definitely seems to be related to the diff lock, because if I put this thing in turf mode, which means the differential is unlocked and the rear tires can turn independently of one another, it doesn't make nearly as much racket as it does if I have it in two-wheel lock or four-wheel drive. So could be something going on with the locker, maybe locker mechanism in there. Like I said, as much as I probably shouldn't, I'm just gonna ignore this thing for right now because I don't have time to mess with it, and I've already fallen in love with using this thing all the time. So if it decides to rear its ugly head and make time for maintenance for me, well, you guys will probably see me diving into that and figuring it out when that time comes. I'm sure I'll get a lot of flack too for not fixing something I can tell is going wrong, but it's been my experience with utility quads and things of the like that I can actually buy a complete replacement differential for not much more money than tearing the old one apart and going through and ordering the pieces parts you need and fixing it piecemeal. So in my mind, you're better to just buy the complete unit and swap them out and be done. Maybe when I dive into this one, I'll find that that's not the case, but it's been my experience in the past that it just made more sense to do a diff swap. So I already started looking for a good windshield for this buggy. If you guys know of any good brands that make a good windshield for a Honda Pioneer, maybe drop a comment down below, let me know what I should be looking at. I was surprised to see that they're pretty expensive. My buddy has one on his, and it opens up in the front. It has a little louver vent down at the bottom. And I think it's like $500 or $600 bucks. I was pretty surprised that the clear plastic can be that much, but people are proud of things, and nothing's cheap anymore. So that's the first upgrade I'm going to be looking for, and I'm sure down the road we might be doing some other things as well. Anyways, guys, after I think nearly 2 years, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up now. I knew I was going to be wrapping this video up soon, so I started editing the beginning a few days ago, and it's been fun for me going back and looking at that footage and seeing just how much has changed out here since I actually brought this thing home. Kind of cool, but kind of embarrassing that I let a project like this sit around so long, especially because I like this thing that much. So I'm sure you're going to be seeing the old Pioneer helping out around here plenty in the future. Maybe if you guys would like to see it, I'll put together a little video of us actually going out riding and having fun with this thing too. So let me know down in the comments if you guys want to see something like that. If you like the video,
do me a big favor, hit that thumbs up button. Really helps out the channel, doesn't cost you guys a dime. If you'd like to help support the channel in a little more direct way, you can head on over to dieselcreek.com, pick yourself up some sweet merch over at the store. That's dieselcreek.com. Link, as always, down in the description. So, until the next time, guys.
Yeah, it's shit.
Catch you later.
Taking me a little while to figure out the couple I have. Wish you could play this shit with me, bro. Diddy party for sure with that horse demon, my guy. Sleep.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Diesel Creek. There is another auction event on the horizon here, so I'm meeting my buddy Sam up here at the Ritchie Brothers sale. We're gonna have a look around and see what kind of junk up here they got for sale. Now, if you guys follow along regularly, you'll know that I am a big fan of going to these auctions, and the last Ritchie Brothers auction, I had the biggest haul to date. I bought 8 forklifts, 2 haul trucks, and 2 telehandlers. Now, as I explained in that video, a lot of the stuff that I buy at these sales is for resale. I've started kind of flipping some of this auction stuff. I kind of watch the prices.
Yeah, and it's multiplayer or co-op too, bro. We can play together. That's what the coolest part about it is to me.
The 8 forklifts have not been selling real hot. I think I got good buys on them. Well, in fact, I know I got good buys on them. It's just, I think what happened was these all came from Yellow Freight. And if you're not familiar with Yellow Freight, that was a big trucking outfit. They had terminals all over the country, and they had, of course, at each terminal, they had tons of these forklifts, and they went bankrupt, so all their stuff went to auction, and the market is just absolutely flooded with these forklifts right now. And they're not ideally set up either. They're not equipped with a really tall boom, so it's made it a little bit of a trick to sell those. I have sold a couple now, but they're not exactly flying off the shelf. So the other big ticket item that I had to sell and flip from the last sale was the haul truck and the Genie telehandler. I decided I was going to keep the second telehandler I bought, the Great All. But the Genie telehandler, I've been working on it. I've got it almost ready to resell, but I have not listed or sold it yet either. So my budget for this sale is not real big because I haven't flipped that stuff over yet. But you just never know.
Punch you in your shit, Eric.
We're going to go have a little look today.
It'll work.
And then when the auction comes, we'll see if there's any deals to be had. You never know what you just can't live without. Got to bust out the shades. It is buku bright up here. And I want to make sure you're looking good here at the Ritchie Brothers auction. Just coming through the gate here, the first thing I noticed is there's a big old fire truck over there. I believe that's a rear steer tiller truck. What's this guy? This looks like a big Cat genset unit, probably. Built out of a shipping container. How about that fire truck, huh? That thing's sweet. We'll check that out.
I never saw that.
What is this here? Yes,
yeah, because you can mess with the people like the AIs and shit, everything else. If you got people that play with you, mess with them, of course, too.
PC 128 UU. The UU model designates that it has this goofy articulating boom up there. But this machine was owned by a company that I used to work for, and I've actually run this machine. And I'm talking, I ran this machine 10 years ago. And it was an absolute pile of junk then.
Well,
I can only imagine how the years have been treating her. Doesn't look like it's been worked in a long time though. I think it's probably just been sitting in their yard if I had to guess. If I remember right, when we were running it 10 years ago, you had to put a bungee cable on the throttle to get it to throttle up. It is a nice size machine, I'll give it that. I don't know how clapped it really is anymore. It's been a long time since I've been on it. If it would go cheap enough, I mean, I guess it would be worth throwing some money at. So this machine, as you can see there, they didn't take their logo off of it. It was owned by Golden Triangle Construction, which if you guys remember really far back on the channel, I had another machine that was owned by them. It was that big orange Clark loader. They used to paint all their machines orange for some reason. That was kind of their shtick. And I think this thing is from the early 2000s or late 90s, something like that. And as you can see, it's faded now, but this is a nasty purple. You can see where they painted over it there. The whole machine was purple, so we called this the Barney machine. Let's see if this old war horse is going to fire up. No key in it.
Oh.
Pretty good.
Pretty high.
Pretty high. I'm waiting for your mom to get here before I try it.
Well, the whole ignition just turns. That's good. This might be a two-handed deal. That's a no-go on the Komatsu.
Mommy.
I stick the key in the ignition, I turn it, and it just twists the guts of the ignition. I thought the whole thing was turning, so I grabbed a hold of it with one hand and turned the key with the other hand. But the inside, the inner part of the ignition is just spinning in a circle, so guess we're not going to see if that ring runs today. Another banged up beauty queen over here is this Komatsu 51EX. She looks like she has seen some stuff. Probably just a good scrub would make it look a lot better, but oh, it's got the floor torn out of it. I'm not even going to bother looking. We don't need that. We'll stay away from that. Now that's interesting. This was a Fay machine. They owned my Komatsu excavator that I just sold, my PC75. Neat. Look at that big boy. I have that welder, and it's a good welder. What the heck is this thing? An SAE 400. That is a big welder. And I don't know why, but there's a sticker on it that says it's not suitable for arc gouging. I can't see how a 400 plus amp machine would not be good for arc gouging, but maybe you guys that know better can let me know down in the comments. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's Perkins. Sounds like a Perkins. Runs nice. It looks like it goes up to 600 amps. Good gravy. I sure don't need a welder this big, but it seems like it's good. Holy crap, they brought in even more Penske trucks than the last time I went to sale. They just keep going. That is a lot of Penske trucks.
Yeah, send me that video, bro.
Little stuff. Let's get into the fun stuff here. Check out this little guy. Oh, it's an ASV. Very neat. I have never seen one of these. Little dump bed on it. A crawler trailer. This thing is neat. I have no idea what this thing is going to go for. I'm going to guess it's probably more than I'd want to spend on it, but man, if the price was right, you know, you could sell this to somebody that has a hunting camp or something that they want to be able to take off into the woods or over the mountains. And yeah, that is just a neat little unit. It's got a forward and backward pedal. Just steers with a steering wheel, apparently. It's gonna start. Yeah. Is there a master switch somewhere? Yep, found it. I bet it starts now. Oh yeah, we got signs of life. Fires up easy enough. Nice and quiet. Well, we got to see this thing drive.
talk now. We're still my shit.
What a neat little unit. Plenty of room for two in here. Got a pretty serious roll cage or rocks built into it. Front windshield folds up. It's got this whole blade control thing going on over here. I guess it's probably set up to be like a mini snowcat, I guess. That's my best guess. But obviously there is no blade. So you got your throttle, blade control, bed controls up here, up, down, climate control, 2-speed, continuous flow. This thing is sweet. And I have absolutely no idea.
Oh yeah, Cannon.
This is worth. But I'm gonna say that it's gonna sell for about
Fuck, I forgot to put the batteries in it.
Somewhere in there. I could be completely wrong. Well, better late than never. The Jake break indicates to me that Buddy Sam has finally made it. He's actually on his way back from another sale where he bought a box trailer. We're down here in Skid Steer Alley now. Got a few machines and only a couple decent looking ones. A couple Caterpillars down there don't look too bad. I don't think I'd ever buy another Bobcat again. These case machines are highly regarded by the people that run them. I'm not really a case guy. These 1845s are supposed to be absolutely bulletproof. This is an early 1845, I believe, so yeah, it does not have a 4BT in it. The later ones did. This is an 1845C, so yeah, yep.
Men sweat more. Sweat can irritate your skin. Dove Men's Micro Moisture technology is designed to replenish your skin, leaving it feeling nourished and healthy. Dove Men, care changes everything.
The hard-working weed killer that's safe for use around people and pets, and backed by Good Housekeeping.
So the C models, I guess, are the ones that have the 4B Cummins in them. This has a VTS track system bolted onto it instead of the wheels, so you could theoretically take that track system off and bolt it right onto this earlier machine, as long as the spacings are the same between the two models, but I would assume they are. But those VTS systems are supposed to be pretty nice for taking a wheeled machine and turning it into a track machine. So what do we got down here? We got a 289D and a 289C. I'm going to say the D model, just without even looking at the hours or anything, I'm going to say that the D model probably going to go for 35, and then the C model will probably go for about 30. Prices were coming down a little bit the last sale on some equipment, so I could be a little high right now. This one has had the 5-gallon overhaul done to it.
Fuck you, man.
Man, they did an absolute abomination of a job trying to repaint this thing. They just went after it with a flat disc on a grinder, it looks like. You can see all these big, I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, but they didn't take all the paint off. They just like gouged it up, and then they brushed the paint back on. Looks good from 20 feet away, but when you get up close, she is rough. Tracks are worn slap out. Those are junk. So you're gonna have to put some tracks on it as soon as you get it. Sprockets actually, no, they're shot. Yeah. Usually, I just think it's preferable to do sprockets at the same time as the track. Oddly enough, the interior doesn't look all tore up. Seat looks decent. Plastic's not all broken. I'm good. I don't need it. I'm not a giant cat skid steer fan, believe it or not. International 4300 over here. 2 horsepower. Coming down here into the excavators. Got a lot of Komatsus up here on the block. These all look like they've seen some highway work. Yeah, these are Fay machines. Looks like Buddy Sam found himself a new toy here. Dresser model high lift. It runs pretty good. This is basically a TD15 with a crawler loader on it, the way I understand it. What do you think, bud? Blown out. Blown out? No good? Why? Sam says it's no good. What's no good about it?
Got a Cat 973 here. I don't think I've ever actually been up next to one of these 73s in person. This is a big machine. I don't know what these weigh. It's got to be pushing 70,000.
Hiding this here dumpster.
4-in-1 bucket on here. Sam says it's like brand new. Oh yeah, it is too. Look at that.
All right.
I don't think it's been used.
How about that? Call it a night.
Fire it up. Got a real nice looking undercarriage on it. I bet you this thing's gonna go for.
Hey, y'all smash that light bulb for me while y'all in here.
Buddy. That'll do it, driver. Sounds pretty good.
All right, no breath.
That is a big old loader.
Oh wow, here it is.
Oh, I don't think it's actually brand new, but it's low hour.
All right,
That's a big boy. With that extra screen up on top there, it kind of makes me think this thing was working in some sort of a recycling plant or maybe a landfill, something like that. I could be wrong, but they do that for like lightweight, bulky materials so you can get more per bucket. That doesn't seem right. That bucket's just kind of flopping around there. Maybe he just didn't have enough pressure on it. How many hours she got on her? 12,800. 12,000. I'm gonna say that this thing's gonna go for about 70 grand. Could be. Last time I was very surprised at how high these went.
Yeah, these are the little ones though. I'm taking 60.
All right.
Just to be honest.
Yeah. Price is right rules. I like the little step you got back here. They did a pretty good job painting it.
It's a good paint job, but it's, did you see how much slop, like the
yeah.
cylinders and everything? There's a lot of slop.
Yeah, she's definitely seen some use.
I was diagnosed with vocal cord cancer. It was really a turning point. I decided to become a nurse because of the care that was provided for me. I was recommended.
One of my favorite modern tractors, and it's already set up with a pipeline blade and a winch. This is just the way you'd want it. These things sound awesome. I'm gonna put you guys on the other side for a full muffler shot. Brand new cable and Beckett on there. Oh, she's stout, bud.
Don't think that's gonna happen, Bob. Bummer.
That's Dozer 001 on the fender, but Dozer 002 on the side there. It doesn't make any sense.
Fender from 001, see?
They might have. Is the 8R gonna fire up? Oh, buddy. Yeah, she fired right now. That's the difference between a mechanical engine and an electronic engine. That thing will fire right up. Hey, set the blade down. Oh, the whole front nose cone goes back and forth. Wowzers. I've never seen that. Oh, the whole hard nose wiggles back and forth. This is why you inspect before you buy.
I'd say it's time for a frame-up rebuild on this one.
We might have the Bill Miller lineup.
It could be.
That one has a sticker on it.
Oh, that would make sense. I've never seen a whole hard nose wiggle back and forth
Well, I
before.
can just see from the seat, I can see the tin work here, and I'm like, oh God.
I've never seen that. And it was sloppy in those, I guess you'd call that a trunnion up there, or just, I don't know what you'd call that, where the cylinders actually go into the hard nose.
I'm gonna go yoke.
Okay, yoke. They're sloppy too, but the whole hard nose was moving like 2 inches. I've never seen that.
Blown out.
Here's 3 of these Moxie haul trucks. These were all owned by that same Golden Triangle company that I talked about earlier. Got these hideous orange paint jobs going on. And apparently these were good trucks, but parts is a nightmare for them, I guess, anymore, is what Gino told me. So, yeah, we're gonna stay away from those. I'm pretty happy with the JCBs. These are definitely overkill for anything I'd be doing.
But can we drive them down the road?
Oh, I'm sure we could drive them down the road.
Gotta get them in.
I needed a Sunday driver.
I can't believe that's holding there.
Oh. Yeah, I think she rubbed the curb a couple times.
Too much Sunday driving. How about the high track? That's what your place needs.
No, we like my trees.
Deleting all of them.
Sam really hates my trees. He's always on me to clear as much of my property
Not
as I
even
can.
all of it, just enough to turn around, really.
That's one tree. I don't need a Hydrax for one tree. Nah. I don't know why, but I've always wanted one of these compactors. I never got to run one. Hopefully today changes that. Let's fire this thing up and see what we can do.
I didn't realize how big these things were, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, they are. They're still pretty decent sized. What engine we got in this unit? I think it's either a 3306 or a 3406. I'm going 3306.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another one.
They don't want you to get lost. You've seen roller drivers. Giver. Oh. But you didn't operate the ladder. I did. Oh, it just springs back. What we got?
So we got a wood screw screwed into the
Randy.
park brake.
What are you doing, my friend?
It's this little actuated deal with a wooden block here. And then it throws the dummy light on the dash for you whenever you run her up and down.
Hey, does it work?
Oh,
It
yeah.
does work. And I ain't stupid.
Sounds like it's perfect.
Got your fine street sweeper there. We could be like pegging legging. Get a street sweeper clean the floor of the shop.
Yes, you can.
Look at these snazzy Kenworth service trucks over here. That'd be nice to work out of, huh? I can dream. Maybe someday.
West Bridge.
A couple nice looking Kenworths here, though.
Over here.
I believe so.
Any,
I think I saw them on the
Come on, man.
I think these are different than the
Aye.
last sale, maybe. They're
Oh,
like
you,
they're the
sir.
same
Come on,
truck,
sir.
same company, but they're different actual
Oh,
trucks.
fuck you, Javier. Bitch.
Got any juice, Captain? I don't like it. There's no soot in that pipe. What do you think they're gonna go for?
Last one like that was like 53, which I thought seemed kind of cheap.
They're definitely good looking trucks.
I would say somewhere in that 50 to 60 range.
What year are these? I guess they're what, 16, 18?
Fuck.
2014.
2014. Snazzy looking units. Probably a bit more than I'd want to spend on one. Sam's trying to convince me to buy this Mac in the interim until the auto car's done. He might not be wrong. It'd be the heavy haul unit. Flat tag axle tire.
Electronic governor, mechanical T-pump thing.
Double frame, big slider, good looking drive tires. I think this is the same truck that Dirt Perfect has, isn't it? What happened?
It's a fucking
What happened?
square. You know, Jesse.
Well, it didn't fall off, so that's
Jesse.
step one. Is in my mind, the common
You're
rule
welcome,
worse, isn't it?
Jesse.
Probably.
Yeah.
I was
Just
thinking,
in time.
what do they call it? The E-Tech? They're basically like a P pump with an electronic governor.
I don't know anything about Max, so maybe.
I'm talking about, bro. Let's
It's like
go,
an expensive
bro.
way to make a frame.
It's like, huh?
Interesting.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir.
This could fit in a V8 in it.
Where else can I go?
Fancy.
You could put the E9 right in there.
Be a scrappy kind of rig.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's see if this thing's going to fire up, I guess. See what the E7's got.
Behold,
Chef,
a Boost
come
Mobile
here.
Unlimited plan at a price
Got some
that
shit
never
that'll
goes
cook
up.
you up.
$25 a month forever.
That's a great idea.
I know. I do my best thinking in the shower, so I turn my
Yes,
office
sir.
into one. Leave it open.
Hey, Urkel.
Leave it open.
Well, fuck you then. Chef, I told you.
Life is expensive. Quality tools don't have to be. That's why over 75 million customers have made Harbor Freight America's #1 tool store. Harbor Freight. With
Selling
over
it.
1,500 locations nationwide.
The million-dollar question is, does it have any batteries?
Ah, fuck.
Signs of
Just
life.
took what I had.
Ooh, body. Mint. Nice and clean.
A little bit. Oh, you bitch.
35 pounds of dirt you could shovel off the floor.
That's not a bad truck. I bet this thing goes cheap.
What are we making? Eugene.
Yeah.
What you up to, cuz? Eugene. Let's fucking go, my boy.
Not a bad looking truck.
Yeah, you kill it, little man.
Have air? Might not have air right now. It's heavy spec. It's definitely heavy spec. See, you got a 20,000-pound steer with the twin steer box. You just need to fix your super single tag. I'd put duals back on it because I think that's a 20,000-pound tag. Yeah, bud, we're gonna need this to move some big shovels.
What to do a Caterpillar swap?
It'll get there. Slowly. It better have low rears.
Already got the wet line too.
That's what I mean. Like, it's got a lot going for it.
Like that, right? It's not rust at all.
Well, the whole frame's pretty clean. Like, it's not pushing out.
It's got the spare hydraulic line.
Alright.
Didn't hurt the hose at all. Just the end. Pipe wrench only now.
What up, Cat?
Yeah, bud, you polish your out.
The last one we can buy is the dog. Yeah, we own everything else.
I was asking, I think they're perfect.
Yeah. I don't think it's as heavy though. Oh, he has
So we
one.
can still buy
He
the,
has
the
a
car wash and the taco
CL
tickler.
or CH, whatever class they are. They're not as heavy of a frame as the
Hey, bro.
CLs are.
That was a good amount sold right there. Amy.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the
Turn there and
Max,
steal
so
my
I would
peasants are
defer to
doing
him
over
or
here.
you for that.
Better
You
be
guys both seem to be the Max
effing
guys.
working.
He knows a lot more than
Hey, y'all do me a favor, smash that like button for me while y'all in here.
Yeah.
Trying to stay up a little later on a Sunday night, give y'all something to watch. Gotta be up at 5 a.m. too, so show some love with that like button. See, I need to go get. I need more cowbell, man.
Try out that deep reduction, man. I think you flip that blue button up. I think you have to take it out of gear, probably. Oh, buddy, that's how you crawl her out.
I mean, it's low. It's like my undercar was like half of that. If that. Like, it's super low.
So that's an 8LL
I need more.
transmission.
Need more storage.
Low.
So let's go ahead and go with
Must have been a dump at some point.
Yeah, you're right. Deep
5
reductions
mode.
forward on the blue. But yeah, that should have been low.
I mean, that's pretty low.
That is like a cruising speed compared to what I'm going at.
Well, you also had 617 rears.
I'm telling you, you just put that thing to the rug and get out and walk faster than that thing.
5 more of those.
Oh yeah, this was a triaxle
Off
dump.
the table.
I would say, based on their. Well, that's what I mean. I feel like it was a dump. Maybe it was always a tractor. I don't know. I guess it's got more or less a factory-looking truck trailer brake.
Well, you'd have that one for an air like a
Yeah. Best Jake brake performance is 1800, 2100, but I try to keep the cat below that so it doesn't grenade.
It's quiet in here.
Yeah, it is.
Glad you talked me into this. Eva might not be, but I am.
I'm curious what it brings. I feel like it's a good truck overall.
It's like it's solid, it's clean. I mean,
it's not pretty, but it's a good one.
No, that's what you need. Look at this fire truck, boys. This thing is big.
Minty.
Who's playing Kramer?
Is there like an overall? No, there it is.
Probably some pull down on the inside.
Nice. That thing is sweet.
Look
how minty the inside of the
got
box.
whole crossover storage. You can slide something all the way underneath there.
What, service truck with a crane on it already? Ready to roll.
That would be sweet. Does it just have a regular fifth wheel? Can you just pop this whole crane apparatus off?
It looks fat.
I know, crane.
It is fat.
No, it's a legit connection.
What are you doing?
Oh, I always wanted to be Kramer.
Bought the barn.
Oh man.
Kramer? Oh, you have like communication, like blinky light or something here with the tractor?
I think they had headsets in that video that we used to watch when we were kids.
Oh yeah?
I think they had headsets communicating up front.
But I'm saying before that, I think you had Morse code. 1 go, or 1 stop, 2 go, 3 back up.
Interesting.
If you knew Morse code, you'd already know.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how many feet the ladder does.
You good?
Special ratchet straps. I didn't notice like these rubber little coated hooks that go
Yeah,
on the spoke.
they probably are. That wouldn't surprise me. It's pretty slick. They thought of everything with these units. Paint's still really nice on it for the most part. A couple little cracks and scratches.
Can you tell whose it was?
It's covered up on the door. 110 foot. It's staring me in the face. That's a heck of a ladder going 110
oh,
feet.
I was gonna watch that noodle thing, but I kind of forgot what I was doing.
Spring Lake Park, Blaine, Mounds View. I don't know.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't even know what state that is.
Oh no.
Why not? That's exactly my reasoning when bidding on this thing. Why not?
What?
Keys for the boxes in here. Wonder what she's got in her for a mill. Where's the key? This thing is wild. You got light for your tiller. You got a light to tell you if your trailer is jackknifed. You got a light for your jacks to tell you when you should have changed your hydraulic oil 6 months ago. Jake brakes. This thing has got it going on. Auto magic transmission. Oh, here's a master switch tucked up underneath the dash. Look at that. We got power. Nyet. That's a bummer. Very disappointed that we can't fire this thing up. I don't know what it's going to go for, but man, it would be fun for like an hour or 2. Climb up that ladder once, get exhausted, come back down, sell it.
That's a long way.
That's a lot of ladder.
10 feet of ladder.
God bless the firemen that climb that thing with a
All
heavy
right,
bottle of
I'm
oxygen
saving,
on
getting off guys.
and a baby in their arms or something.
Appreciate y'all being here. Smash
I
that
am
like
not
button for
in.
me. If you ain't already
All
subscribed,
in all,
please
that
consider
Mac
it.
looks
It's free to
pretty good to
you.
me.
Helps the channel
Sam
tremendously.
might have
Follow
twisted his
back
arm
at me.
here.
Y'all have a good night.
Might be coming home
Peace.
with a Mac.
I like it.